Well, happy to have a panel of Bobcats for our pregame, halftime, and postgame shows as we air Bates Bowdoin football from last year, a 30-5 victory for the Bobcats in convincing fashion under the lights at Garcelon Field. And to set this up, we've got head coach Malik Hall. We've got seniors Connor Hunt, Patrick Whalen, Shane Collins, Brendan Costa, and Ramon Ruiz with us here, and Spencer Carey as well, assistant coach. He'll be showing some video at halftime, so you'll want to stay tuned for that for some halftime highlight breakdowns. But first, this is kind of the pregame segment as we lead into kickoff here back at Bates. Heading into the Bates Bowdoin game last year, and Coach Hall, will start with you. Obviously, the previous week, such a close game with Colby, and the team came so close to getting that first victory for you, and this time, obviously, you were able to get that win. But tell me about what the attitude was like in practice heading in to this particular game, knowing it's going to be a night game, knowing it's going to be a big crowd.
I got to tell you, guys were excited because they know we had Kobe. I don't think it was. I often say, don't let a loss create another loss. I think that loss showed us how close we were, and we got off to a rocky start. And so I think the emphasis of the Bowdoin game, not only it being a night game, we tried to block all of that out and let that provide its own individual juice, but was to come out on fire. Let's not wait. Let's not let the penalties build up, because to that point, we had to rally for Kobe, and we put ourselves in a position to try to win the game. You know, we're not going to say anything about the flag, although, you know, the flag was thrown. I gotta get it out there. It was thrown, okay? But that's what good rivalries are built off of, right? That back and forth, that slugfest, and it came down to the last possession. Costa found my man Stevie Brackett open in the end zone, and then the flag got called on our guy OB and Nicky Florio. So we went into the Bowdoin game looking to minimize penalties and start fast. And because that was senior day, we put a senior package together, which was pretty fun too. So that was the mindset going into that. Let our seniors start the game off, and let's get off to a fast start.
Yeah, Ramon, obviously you're a senior now, as is everyone else on our panel, but you guys were juniors last year. How special was it, knowing, this is going to be the final home game for those seniors, for you guys to come out and, how extra motivation was there to get that win for the seniors coming into this game?
Oh man, it was a must win for sure. Especially because, that's a second main rivalry that, we have on our schedule. But like Coach said, coming off that Kobe loss, it was a different feeling than the others before. We were really hungry. We were very motivated. Practice was really smooth that whole week. We were paying attention to detail in everything we did. We, worked our tails off as always. But it was definitely different that week. We kind of had that sense of urgency, knowing that, rivalry number 2 is upon us, and, it's a night game as well. So that got everybody fired up. So it was a great atmosphere. We were happy that we got to, get that one for the seniors, the first one of the season. But yeah, no, it was a great team win, great performance by everybody, happy that I was a part of it, to say the least.
For sure. Brendan, coming into this game, obviously the previous year, you'd been injured for the Bowdoin game, and that was their home night game. And so was there a sense in your mind, oh, I've got this opportunity now, I'm healthy, and I want to get them at our place at night, just like they did, right?
Yeah, no, I was definitely excited to come back and play Bowdoin, but the only thing that was on my mind was making sure that scoreboard was ringing up high, just to make sure we gave our defense enough cushion, making sure that my reads were on point, making sure that our offense was on schedule. And that's all I was thinking of. So after the first drive, when we scored, our guys got some juice, and I just made sure that they channeled that for the rest of the game.
Defensively, Connor, what's it like to see the offense go out there and score right away?
It's a great feeling. I mean, when the offense is plugging away like that, it really helps out the defense. So I know the defensive guys were really excited to get points, and then we were just ready to go out and just kind of finish it off from there.
Shane, with the Cats Carnival, with this being the first home night game, what were some of your thoughts throughout the week, perhaps?
I think as a whole, the team knew that the atmosphere was going to be at an all-time high. The stands were going to be packed, and just the fact that we got to mimic, what it's like to play like a real primetime college football game, playing under the lights at night, definitely adds a little bit of pressure, but it's all good pressure because like I said, the stadiums are going to be packed, the atmosphere is going to be high, and a lot of times teams thrive off that, especially teams who don't get to experience that on a weekly in and out basis playing.
Patrick, I'm curious, fans are going to be reliving this game momentarily. What's some of your favorite moments from this particular game we're going to be watching here in a moment?
I mean, some of the main things I remember from that game is where I was playing fullback and, more involved in the run game is just remember the monster game that Tyler Bridge had. Really awesome to see a guy like him, a freshman who, even though he's younger than us, we all kind of really had a lot of respect for the way he's playing, having a breakout game like that. And getting to block for him, playing in a game, having a breakout performance like that was pretty special.
Yeah, Brendan, that makes your job a lot easier too, right?
So much easier. Haas was A+ effort on that day.
Excellent. So, folks, you'll be seeing that just momentarily. Tyler Bridge, Brendan Costa, the rest of the Bobcats taking on Bowdoin. We'll be back at halftime. We'll break down some first half plays from this game. Spoiler alert, Bobcats won it. That's why you're going to be watching it. It was a good one. Back in a bit.
So back to receive here for Bates, Muhammad Diawara, who's had some pretty good return yardage in the last couple of games. He is back there. One other receiver back there. I believe that's Connor Hunt from the number. But Chen kicks off and we're underway as Diawara takes it from the 1. Cuts toward the sideline and doesn't quite get to the 20, but a pretty good 17-yard return there for Muhammad Diawara.
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup both offensively and defensively, and not to be negative off the get-go, but both these teams struggle on both ends of the ball, so it will be interesting to see who can kind of get the upper hand here on defense and offense, both ends, and Bates is going to have the first crack here offensively to try and get some momentum going.
1st and 10 for Bates from its own 18-yard line. Costa in shotgun. Takes that snap, hands it off, and the carry by John Lindgren, the senior from Plainville, Connecticut. Didn't get a whole lot there, only gains 1.
Classic dive play right up the middle.
Lindgren, of course, a defensive back, also the team's punt returner. But the running back for this series. Costa on 2nd and 9. With a man in motion, takes the snap, the handoff to Lindgren again. He's pushing the pile this time. Looks like he got beyond the 20 to the 21, so another short gain brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, about 3rd and 8 here. Will be interesting. The 2 similar plays kind of right up the gut, trying to get something going. We'll see if they can open it up with a pass here or stick with the run.
So this will bring 3rd down and 7 on the 21-yard line. Costa in shotgun again. Triple wide receivers to his left and some good pressure, but he'll tuck it and run. He's got some running room over the 40, close to midfield, and he goes out of bounds. Brendan Costa with the big run.
That was a great read by Costa. He stepped back and that pocket collapsed and he just found the soft spot. Was able to get that. It was about 30-yard, 25-yard gain there.
Officially a 25-yard run for Costa on 3rd down and 7 rather, for the first. So 1st and 10 now for Bates on its own 46. Costa again in shotgun, again hands it off, and no gain on that play as the ball carrier was Liam Spillane. So 2nd down and 10 here. No gain on the play. Just underway here at Garcelon Field, the first ever night football game at this facility. Costa brings a man in motion And drops back, throwing down the near sideline, has a man, Jackson Hayes has it, and Jackson Hayes is into the end zone for 6.
That was a great job by Costa. He had a guy breathing down his neck, but he stayed calm. He had his man. He found Jackson Hayes, hit him right in stride. And the only question there is Jackson was kind of trying to maneuver to get away from the 2 defenders, and he was able to get in. Huge momentum and huge touchdown for the Bobcats.
54-yard catch and run from Brendan Costa to Jackson Hayes to put Bates on the board just 2 minutes and 33 seconds into the game. Simon Redfern on to attempt the extra point. The holder is Lindgren. And we're going to have to do that attempt again. It looks like Bates jumped.
You wonder if they kind of lulled him to sleep there. Every running play was just these simple dives up the middle, and then all of a sudden when he finally dropped back, he found his guy. Caught him sleeping in the backfield. Defensive backfield, that is.
Referee tonight is Jonathan Schwanbeck. And he will be giving us the call. Now the penalty is against Bowdoin for encroachment here.
They might go for 2 here now.
Yeah. That is exactly what's going to happen. As Malik Hall sends the offense back out now that the try is a yard closer, so they'll go for 2. Play clock ticks down. So the Bobcats set things up and get the play in from the sideline. Costa, as Bates sets up to go for 2 points. Costa in shotgun, takes it, quick drop, throws to the corner of the end zone. It's good for 2. Liam Spillane with the catch.
That was almost too easy. Just got him running around the end there. He was wide open, one-on-one coverage. Led him perfectly.
So the Bobcats on top 8-0. Less than 3 minutes into the ball game here. This was the dream start here for Coach Malik Hall.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, this is a defense that has struggled this year, but so is this offense, and vice versa. This will be another big drive here for the Bowdoin offense coming out too. But wow, I mean, like I said, couple jive plays right up the middle, almost like they lulled them to sleep, and 2 big plays: the run by Costa and then the pass that got the touchdown for him.
5 plays, 82 yards on that first drive for Bates, and the majority of it covered on the final play. 54 yards, Costa to Hayes.
And it's got to feel good for those two. I mean, Hayes has been one of their best receivers all year, but he hasn't been able to get that open or that much room. So that's really got to make them feel good and get the juices going on the sidelines there for this next drive.
Absolutely, as Hayes has been the one who normally is the one who's thrown to downfield. And you see why. He's got an awful lot of speed. Redfern ready to kick off. Back to receive here for Bowdoin. Looks like Isaiah here. Receiving that one for the Polar Bears. Aiden Israelski. And he is down just shy of the 25-yard line. Polar Bears to start their first offensive series of the game here from their own 22-yard line. Leading the offense, Austin Mcrum, the junior from Saco, Maine, graduate of Thornton Academy, one of the high school football powerhouses here in Maine. Mcrum throws a screen pass here to Richam O'Doy, and he gets hit. That isn't going to gain a whole lot.
So the Polar Bears come out throwing, and they try to get a little something going, a little screen, but really well read by the Bobcats.
That gained about a yard. So it's 2nd down and 9 for the Polar Bears. Mcrum, a big kid, running the offense, 6'5", 229 pounds. He hands off to Richam O'Doy up the middle, and you see a little bit of his escapability there as he broke the first tackle and does get over the 25 to the 26.
Yeah, he's got big playability. He averages about 4.5 yards a carry, and he's someone that you mentioned Coach Hall's really feeling they need a key on him. He's a senior, one of the best players in the conference, so in the backfield.
3rd down and 6 for Bowdoin from its own 26-yard line. Bobcats try to force the 3 and out. Mcrum in shotgun. 3 wide receivers to the near side. That's the left. Mcrum tucks it, runs, cuts left. He gets close to first down yardage. The Bobcats thinks they've stopped
loose.
and the ball might be out.
Can't tell.
Bates hoping they've got the football as they unpile, but it is 4th down is the indication.
Muhammad Koulibaly, number 2 there, really found his way in there to get the stop. It looked like Mcrum was going to maybe be able to break out of there, and he was kind of able to make the final hit to stop the momentum.
He is a yard short, is Mcrum, so Bowdoin goes 3 and out on its first possession, and Michael Chen, the senior punter, also place kicker from Crystal Lake, Illinois, out there now to punt it away. John Lindgren back to receive for Bates. Chen gets a good one off. Bates almost blocked it, though. That takes a Bates bounce, and it's down at the Bates 41-yard line.
Bobcats fortunate. Looked like Owen Straley was down there on the wing, and that ball almost kicked back and hit him, but no harm, no foul, and the Bobcats will get some decent field position here.
That they will. On their own 41-yard line here, looking to add to an 8-0 lead. Costa sends a man in motion. That's Garrett Evans. And the handoff goes to Spillane, who has some running room. He's to midfield and about a yard short of a first down.
Great job. Again, another basic dive play, but this time Spillane able to find the hole, maneuver around, and get about 9 yards there.
Bobcats offensive line certainly getting some good pushes here. 2 of those seniors are on that O-line. We'll talk about them in just a bit. 2nd and 1 here. Costa takes it himself. Check that. It's Matt Golden, and he breaks free over the 30-yard line for a big gain.
Well, the senior getting in there, having a nice read, decided to keep him himself. He saw something, and he was able to expose a big hole there.
That is a 24-yard gain for Matt Golden, the running back, a senior from New Bedford, Massachusetts, although playing as a quarterback on that play, as he does again here. Nope, it's Costa taking the snap, the handoff to Spillane, running east-west, trying to turn upfield, and is pushed out of bounds at about the 22-yard line, so a 4-yard run.
Great job by the O-line so far. Bowdoin's got a couple guys, Gowitzki and Clack, who can get in the backfield and really disrupt things with sacks and tackles for losses, and so far so good for the Bates O-line.
2 senior O-linemen are the left tackle, Matt Flanagan, number 70, and the center, Jack O'Brien, number 64, playing in their final home games tonight as Bates Bobcats. Costa takes the snap, fake handoff, throws up the middle, has Hayes, and just overthrew him. It's off his left hand and incomplete.
Yeah, he had Hayes, a couple guys on him, but he put that in a position where only Hayes was the only guy that could catch it, just a little beyond his reach in the back of the end zone, though.
8:38 left here in the first quarter.
But you have to like what you see so far with the way they're moving the ball.
Certainly the Bobcats getting some chunk yardage plays here early on. So 3rd down and 6 here for the Bobcats from the Bowdoin 22-yard line. As Costa, there's pressure from his right. He throws, finds Hayes, and that's good enough for a first down.
That was a great catch there in traffic. I think it was Sean Bryan, actually, from Falmouth, finding the big guy down the line. He had a guy all over him. He's getting shoved out of bounds, but he's able to corral it and get that 1 foot in to get the completion.
So a first down as the ball is spotted at the 13-yard line. So that's a 9-yard play. First and 10 on the Bowdoin 13. Costa. He was into the neutral zone. The hard count brings an offside.
Well, I know we didn't talk about it, but penalties have been such a big thing in a lot of the games we've called together this year. And so when you have two teams that are as evenly matched like this, these small mistakes could be the biggest backbreaker for one way or the other. And it is going to go against the Polar Bears.
So a 5-yard march off brings it inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, where the Bobcats will have it first and 5. Costa calls signals. Has 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. Takes the snap and hands it off, but not much running room there for Tyler Bridge as he's back into the lineup here after missing the last few weeks.
Yeah, that was Noah Clack getting right up there, and I just mentioned him a few plays before, so he's finding his way into this game, but he read that and he stuffed him.
As that ends up as a 3-yard loss on that play. So now second down and 8 for the Bobcats, as it looks like Bridge will stay in there as the running back. They'll have 3 in the backfield this time with Costa in shotgun. Costa takes the snap, and he's in trouble and gets sacked as 4 players busted through the line. Noah Clack got to him first.
Yeah, he's starting to find his groove. I might have spoke too soon and not saying that he wasn't getting in there earlier.
And that went for a loss of, it looks like 7.
If that's credited to Clack, that'll be his team-high 6th sack of the season right there.
The ball's on the 18. So now it's 3rd down and 15 here. Bates can get a first down without a touchdown if they get it to the 3. Costa throwing end zone, but overthrows Diawara.
He had him.
Now the Bobcats wide receivers are getting behind the D-backs here in the first few series for the Bobcats. Now decision time for Malik Hall.
Well, they haven't attempted a field goal all year, so I'm going to guess they're going to go for it here. It looks like they're going to.
Yeah, that will be the play. So Bobcats bring in Sean Bryant off the bench for this play. 4th and 15, and whistles as the ball is snapped, and we've got a timeout called by Bates. So maybe something they didn't quite like with that formation. So they will huddle around the coaches. It's an 8-0 lead for the Bates Bobcats. 6:17 left in our opening quarter. Glad you could join us tonight. It's a beautiful night for football here in Lewiston, Maine at Garcelon Field. We see the sun setting off above the campus skyline, and boy, it's nice. A little chilly out, but not so bad.
It is a little chilly, but look, you got 2 Maine teams playing on a classic Maine evening, about 40 degrees. Might be a little chillier once the wind gets going, but we talked about a tremendous atmosphere here today, and I was talking to athletic director Jason Fine beforehand, and this was planned. This whole cat carnival going on. I got here about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game. You did too, and it just had a great buzz as you crossed over College Ave, or was it Central Ave? I always get them confused, but you had a lot of great energy. The tailgates, the carnival, people from the community, just tremendous thing. Kudos to Jason and his team for really making this a great atmosphere tonight.
All right, out of the timeout, 4th down and 15 here for Bates as a flag flies as the play begins, and that looks like first down yardage to Bryant, but we'll have to await the flag. Comes near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's on Bates, and that will bring the play back.
he had him too. Bryant was pretty wide open down the line there, down the seam, and unfortunately that penalty will bring it back. But it's good to see Sean Bryant getting some opportunities here. He doesn't have many catches on the year, but he's obviously a big part of the game plan this afternoon.
So 6:12 to go in the first quarter. That now backs it up 5 more yards to the 23-yard line, where the Bobcats now have it 4th down and 20. But Bates has chunked off yardage on single plays a couple different times so far already. Costa and shotgun. 4 wide receivers to the right, just 1 to the left. Costa drops straight back. Waits for someone to get open. Clack pursues. The throw to the back of the end zone is intercepted, and trying to run it out and getting tackled at around the 5-yard line there is waiting on the number 21 that time. Matthew Williams coming up with the pick, but we do have a flag on the field. It's a hold against Bates, which will be declined.
Yeah, he had a lot of time. There was some pretty good protection, but once Clack started getting back there, that's when the flag flew, and just an overthrow. A little bit of a ill-advised decision to bring it out. Williams caught that deep, probably about 8-9 yards deep in the end zone. He probably just should have taken a knee. Instead, Bowdoin's going to have the ball at their own, it looks like, 7-yard line. So,
Diawara brought him down on the play after the Williams interception. So Bowdoin gets the ball for the second time tonight. Down 8-0. They went 3 and out on their first series. Austin Mcrum in the pistol formation gives to Richard Modoy, and he is stacked up by the left side of the defensive line after a gain of 3.
Not for nothing. I mean, that was a 4th down play, so that couldn't have worked out any better for Bates. You're looking at probably they're going to throw an incompletion. Bowdoin's going to get the ball up in the 30. Instead, throw it up in the end zone, and now you're going to start him down on the 7.
2nd down and 7 for the Polar Bears. 3 wide receivers over to the left of the formation here. Mcrum gives to Richard Modoy as he runs right and once again gets stacked up. And the Bates defense pushing him backward. Looks like a short gain of 2.
Yeah, they're not going to let him beat them this afternoon, that's for sure.
So 3rd down here. And the ball is on the 12, so it was a 2-yard gain for Nate Richumodoy, a senior from West Hartford, Connecticut. He's only 5'11", 191 pounds, but very athletic and very fast. Mcrum in shotgun, drops back, throws, incomplete. Threw it behind the intended receiver, Michael Klopsy.
Threw him behind and low. He had him there, too. It would have been 1st down yardage, but a little bit of pressure got back there, and I think he had to rush the throw a little quicker than he wanted.
Another 3 and out for the Polar Bears as Michael Chen back on to punt, standing about 3 yards deep in his end zone as Lindgren stands just behind midfield, waiting to run it back. Chen takes it. Another good pressure there by Bates. And fair catch called for at the 42 by Lindgren, and Bates will start with it there.
You're the Bates defense, you have to be feeling pretty good so far. That's 2 3 and outs. And this is a defense that gives up the most yards per game in the league. So a lot of confidence flowing. You have to like to see that if you're a Bobcats fan.
Bates up 8-0. 3rd offensive possession of the night. As Brendan Costa back out to lead the offense again. Matt Golden is the back next to him. As now Tyler Bridge trots in as well. And the handoff is to Bridge, who has some running room, gets over midfield, and keeps pushing the pile for a 1st down.
Great to see Bridge getting in there and get some yards to get him going.
Tyler Bridge, the Fitzpatrick Award winner for the best high school football player in the state of Maine a year ago. timeout called for here. Believe it's, well, we'll see if it's an official's timeout or not.
I think someone's down on the ground there.
Okay.
The athletic trainer's out there. It's at number 2, it looks like. Franny Rose.
Yep. So he is up now. As the ball on the Bowdoin 47 now. That was an 11-yard gain for Bridge.
It's got a little bit of a stinger. He's shaking his arm out. I'm sure he'll be back out there in a little bit.
So Costa on 1st down and 10. Takes the shotgun snap. Under pressure, throws, and it's intercepted.
Oh, he dropped it.
Oh, he did drop it. Okay. Yep, in and out of the hands of Jacob Mouse, who dove for that one but couldn't hang on once he hit the ground.
Well, that's Joe Gowetzky getting into the game now and getting into that backfield. Like I said, him and Clack can really disrupt things, and he certainly almost caused a turnover. That was an interception until he hit the ground and like it popped out at the last second.
So,
Bobcats very fortunate.
Yes, Costa getting a fortunate play there. For now 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. 3 wide receivers to the right, one of them motions to the left. Costa hands it off here. Running the ball is Garrett Evans, and there's not much there for him. Lost a yard, and it's 3rd and 11. So the Bowdoin defense has gotten some push beyond the line here in the last 2 plays. Costa again in shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 2 in the backfield with him. Costa flushed out, runs, and gets tripped up from behind. Good tackle by Gowetzky.
Costa almost got away from him, but Gowetzky came flying around the end there and just tracked him down. I don't know if that was a gain. He might have gained about a yard or a half yard there, so it wasn't quite a sack.
4th down and 10. That was a 1-yard gain. Quinn Kieselowski on the punt here for Bates. And it is Aiden Israelski back to receive the punt for Bowdoin. Kieselowski, an end-over-end punt. And calling for the fair catch is Israelski at, looks like the 19-yard line. So the Polar Bears will start with it on the 18 is where they mark it.
Good coverage by the Bobcats to make sure he didn't take that very, very far. Nice end-over-end punt.
Still 8-0 Bates, late first quarter. I'm Jeff Mannix, John Suchiak alongside John Chassie, our on-site cameraman and producer here at Garcelon Field tonight. Thanks for joining us on Northeast Sports Network. Austin Mcrum, play action. Flushed out of the pocket, runs left, and is close to 1st down yardage. Looks like a yard short.
Such a big body going out there. Tough to take down.
Mcrum, we mentioned Tyler Bridge, a former Fitzpatrick Award winner. Mcrum, one of those players who was elite in high school football. We mentioned his program at Thornton Academy under Kevin Kiesel. They're the defending Class A state champs, and they just finished the regular season undefeated last night, too, in the largest class in Maine, Class A. A run for Richie O'Doy that time, and it looks like Bowdoin moves the chains for the first time on the night.
Had to bring up that Thornton game, didn't you?
Sorry about
That's
that.
all right. That's all right.
I forget you were there. And are a
Scarborough alum,
fan.
yeah, you know. It's all right. Playoffs coming up.
That's all right. Your high school is going against my high school in the playoffs next week, so I think yours is going to win.
Well, they didn't have a team when I was there, so I can't take too much credit.
Oh,
That's how old I am. So
that's the Scarborough Red Storm. That's right next to Saco. 1st down and 10 from the 29. Mcrum uncorking one, but to no one in particular. Looks like he overthrows Richard O'Doy.
That was good coverage. Richard O'Doy looking for a flag. I didn't see much contact out there. I just think it was an overthrow. And good job by Bates trying to make sure to cover everyone, make sure no one was open.
2nd and 10 for Bowdoin from its own 29-yard line. 1:01 left here in the first quarter. Mcrum in pistol. He rolls right and gets some pressure throwing. It's incomplete, as looked like Brendan Ward, who tried to make the catch, was standing out of bounds when he tried to make the play, so it's incomplete and 3rd down.
Liam Green doing a good job pressuring Mcrum there. He's been getting back there the last few plays to make sure he was pressuring him. A couple Bates guys were almost able to make a play on there, but almost deflected it to Bowdoin.
3rd and 10 coming up for the Bowdoin Polar Bears. Had to fight from behind a lot this season. Behind by a score here in the first quarter at Bates. Mcrum again in pistol. Drops back, throws, complete to Richard O'Doy, and he is hit hard by Garrett Evans.
And a late flag just came in from the complete opposite side of the field. I'm not sure.
Well, we'll have to see what these flags are.
That was a nice hit to prevent Richard O'Doy from getting any further.
Yeah, stuck him as he tried to turn upfield at the 35-yard line, which is about 4 yards short of the first down. We'll see what the call is here on the penalty flags. So Bowdoin picks up the penalty, which gets enforced after or at the end of the play. So that will end up netting a loss after all that. It's a ball placed on the 19-yard line. And time for a punt again from Chen. Lindgren again back deep to receive for the Bobcats. Chen. Almost another block. That one is not very far. It takes a Bowdoin bounce, though, and is downed on the Bowdoin side of midfield at the 46. The pressure is starting to get to Chen.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just hurrying. It looked like it was Zach Doyton getting back there, senior from Marshwood. And he was just pressuring him, and that, again, was a tough punt. And I don't know, I felt like they might have stopped it a little sooner, but maybe they would have gotten an extra yard or two. Either way, great field position again for the Bobcats. Let's see if they can continue moving the ball forward here.
22 seconds left in the first quarter, so maybe 1 or 2 plays left before they'll switch ends. Costa takes the snap. The handoff is to Tyler Bridge. He's through the first level and gains 5. Make that 4 as they'll spot him on the 41.
You know you hate to play the what-if game, but Bridge being out the last number of games and a couple of these games being close, he is their leading rusher in terms of yards per carry, and he's such a great weapon to have out there, and they've really missed him, and he's made his presence in the few plays he's gotten. He's so much bigger than those guys. He can get it right up the middle, and he's gaining 4 or 5 yards at a chunk.
We've reached the end of the first quarter in the first ever night football game at Garcelon Field. Your score is the Bates Bobcats 8, the Bowdoin Polar Bears nothing. Second quarter is next on NSN. Jeff Mannix and John Suchiak back for the second quarter. 2nd and 6 for Bates, up 8-0. And Diawara with the catch from Costa. He's got the first down, and looks like Bowdoin is going to be called for unnecessary roughness again.
Yeah, it kind of brought him down. I'm assuming a horse collar. At least that's the way it looked from up here.
Play there went close to the 20. So we'll await the penalty call here. on the first play of the second quarter. But we believe it's on the Polar Bears. Nope, it's on Bates this time. So the penalty on the Bobcats will move it backward. It is after the play is over, so it is still a first down. But it backs up 15 yards from where it would have been. 1st and 10 now at the 37. Costa calling signals, takes the snap. Hands off to Bridge, up the middle, keeps churning, and he is down at the 20-yard line. That's a 17-yard run for Bridge and a first down.
Big play after that penalty took them back. Bridge gets them right back to where they should be.
And Bates in hurry up. The handoff to Spillane this time, up the middle. He keeps pushing the pile, and that should be good for 2 or 3 yards, depending on the spot. Okay, Bridge carried the ball again. My mistake. And he will go to the sideline now after a 16-yard run followed by a hard 3-yard run. 2nd and 7. Ball on the Bowdoin 18-yard line. Early second quarter, Bates already up 8 points. Costa hands to Spillane, and he is knocked down. Good job to stand him up by Goetzky.
Yeah, they're just going to keep pounding that right up the middle. So I'm wondering if they're just going to set him up for a play action here and try and get someone in the end zone open.
3rd and 6 coming here for the Bobcats.
Bridge is back in.
Bridge, that big first-year running back out of Wells, Maine. Standing next to Costa in shotgun. 2 wide receivers to both sides of the formation. Costa flushed out and gets away. Costa to the 15, the 10, the 5, and can't quite get the corner, but sets up 1st and goal.
Yeah, he got flushed out of there pretty quick, and again, he got tripped up, but he was able to keep his feet and make a nice run down there. He lowered the shoulder, just couldn't quite get in the end zone.
1st and goal for Bates from the 3-yard line.
Bates had the protection, but Bowdoin was just able to penetrate in there pretty good. Big kudos to Costa to get out of there and get out of harm's way.
So Costa in the pistol formation with Bridge behind him. Costa hands to Bridge, and he's into the end zone untouched. The Bobcats up 14-0 pending the PAT.
They might be going for 2 again. Mine as well. You already got the 14, right? Oh, no. Well, here we go.
Well, I don't see Redfern coming out yet, so this looks like setting up to go for 2 again.
Yep.
Bobcats have tended to go for 2. Had trouble with extra point protection over the course of the season. 10 on the play clock here. Bates with a wide formation. 5 wideouts here. And Costa gets the snap. Oh, and then that'll bring a crowd as Costa's knocked over after the whistle.
He wasn't just knocked over, he was assaulted.
Flag, I believe, was for delay of game, although I had the snap and the play clock in my line of vision. It looked to me like he got the play off.
I thought he got it off too, but that got a little, whistle blows, maybe you don't hear it, but he took a pretty good hit, pretty good shove, and then ran it right into another Bowdoin guy. So I wonder if there's going to be added penalties here or what.
Yeah, it looked like Franny Rose was the player who ran into him. He looked like he was trying to appeal that he got pushed.
Right. Well, he got pushed into another Bowdoin guy, so, I feel bad for the second guy. But again, who knows if they heard the whistle, It's tough when you're out there playing hard,
Right. So we'll get the word here. And I didn't quite hear the explanation from Jonathan Schwanbeck there.
Neither did I, but the ball hasn't moved.
No, so it looks like they're just going to replay it, because I think what I heard was that there was a mistake on the flag, that there should not have been the delay of game. So now Bates goes for two. Bridge gets the handoff. That time he's not going to get in. The Bowdoin defense holds, and it remains 14-0.
Regardless, the Bobcats marching right down, some big plays. Great to see Bridge getting involved some more. Costa with making more plays with his feet. This is something that we really haven't seen much of this year from the Bobcats, at least at home games. And so 14-0, even missing that 2-point conversion. I think they're still up 2 touchdowns, and you got to feel good if you're a Bobcat fan right now.
7-play, 45-yard drive there for the Bobcats to go up 2 scores here at Garcelon Field. Game 2 of the 2019 CBB football series. Bates lost the first game last week at Colby, but nearly came all the way back from 23 points down. And now are up 14-0 against Bowdoin in the Polar Bears' first game of the 2019 CBB series. They'll close it out next week. So they'll close the regular season at home at Whittier Field against the Colby Mules, while Bates gets its longest road trip of the season to Clinton, New York, to play the Hamilton Continentals to end the year.
Short jaunt to upstate New York from here.
Simon Redfern with the kickoff. And it bounces and was juggled, but Ward ends up coming away with it. And he is brought down at the 15-yard line. It's Jose Caleja getting a hand on him first.
Yeah, he muffed the kick a little bit. He wasn't able to pick it up, and Bobcats were able to cover really well after that miscue.
Polar Bears have had long fields all night so far. Now once again start behind their own 20-yard line at the 15. As Austin Mcrum in shotgun formation, trying to get the Bowdoin offense going. The handoff to, nope, he keeps it himself. It was a fake handoff to Richard O'Doy, and Mcrum gets 6 yards there on the little run to the left.
Yeah, he had me faked out too.
So a very good play action from Austin Mcrum. Second down and 4 for the Polar Bears. Mcrum calls the signals. He's got 4 wide receivers to his right. He hands to Richard O'Doy. Tries to get the corner, and he is run out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line.
Richard O'Doy is such a big part of their offense, both running and receiving. It's obviously they need to get him going, and that's what they're trying to do. He's able to get the first down, though.
Needed 4, he got 5. Ball on the 26-yard line. First and 10. Mcrum in the pistol formation this time. Hands to Richard O'Doy, and he is hit right away as he gets to the line by Peter Daly.
Great job by Bates continuing to lock in on Richard O'Doy there.
That did gain 2 yards on forward progress. Second down and 8 coming here for the Polar Bears. Under first-year head coach B.J. Hammer, the offensive coordinator Braden Layer for the Polar Bears. Again, pistol formation for Mcrum. He motions Richard O'Doy. Mcrum drops straight back, steps up, flag flies, and a big hit laid just over the 30-yard line there on Mcrum, but we do have a flag in the backfield.
Connor Sorosi with the hit there. making sure Mcrum wouldn't get any further, but looks like that's going to come back anyways.
Holding penalty was the indication. And Bowdoin, who's had their own penalty issues this year, having them again here in the first half of tonight's game. They announced the penalty on Brendan O'Neill, the left tackle for the Polar Bears. And the ball now back to the 18. Second down and 18 yards here for the Polar Bears after the penalty. Mcrum hands to Richard O'Doy and tried to cut back, and Bates pursued him very well as the play is made by Muhammad Koulibaly.
Well, it's pretty clear what they're trying to do here. I mean, looking at the game stats, there's only two guys in the stat column here, and it's Mcrum and Richard O'Doy. So, you know, I'd like to see him try and get some other guys in because it's obvious Bates, they're keying on the same two guys.
So 3rd and 16 now. Mcrum drops back, throws over the middle. It is picked off by Zach Doyon on the dive, and the Bobcats have the ball in Bowdoin territory again.
Huge play by the senior right there on his final home game. That was a nice catch, too. Had to lay out a little bit to pick that off. Huge play for Bates. They have an opportunity to really put Bowdoin in a big hole now.
So the ball's on the Bowdoin 36-yard line. As Zach Doyon, the senior from Elliott, Maine, with the INT.
I'm sure he didn't. That Marshwood guy doesn't mind picking off a Thornton guy any day of the week. You know what I mean?
Sure not. Both high school football powers now in different classes. Not when both of them were in school, though, as Costa up the middle and is able to gain. Well, actually gets just back to the line of scrimmage, and we've got an injured player here for Bates. As down on the field is Nick Florio, the right guard, a sophomore. So that was officially no gain on that play, as we've got the injury timeout here, but Bates, I should say, here with the 14-0 lead against Bowdoin from Garcelon Field. We hope you're enjoying this. It's a beautiful night for football. Temperatures began at kickoff at about 41 degrees. It's going to be down in about the mid-30s or so by the time we're done.
That's how I like my Maine Novembers. Upper 30s, see your breath. Yep. Not too cold that you're freezing to death, but you know you're in Maine and you're enjoying it, you know?
Florio is walking off under his own power now to the Bates sideline on the far side. Bates changed up the sidelines this year. Put a little pressure on the visitors. Have them, the Bates faithful, right behind him. 2nd and 10. Costa throwing down the near sideline. Hayes has it! It's a touchdown!
Huge play by Hayes, getting behind Tyreek Jones-Garland, exposing the freshman there, holding on to the ball. That ball was thrown over his shoulder. He had to make a tough catch, even though it was one-on-one coverage. Although we have a little discussion going on with the officials right now.
Now, there's a flag down, I see now, in the corner of the end zone.
Is it unsportsmanlike, it looks like? Is that what that was?
Possibly. I would guess if they're coming over to chat with BJ Hammer that it is after the play. It is indeed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Hayes for taunting after the fact. But a 20-0 lead. You understand why he's excited, though. That is one of the highlight plays of the season for the Bobcats.
And he's still young. He's a sophomore. I mean, you should know better. But at the same time, this is such an emotional game. It's a rivalry game, and you're just excited. You're up 3 touchdowns. They haven't been up 3 touchdowns all year.
Matt Golden to hold for Simon Redfern. His extra point is good. That makes it 21-0 for the Bates Bobcats at Garcelon Field, and the Bobcats are feeling good. So just a 2-play drive of 36 yards. They get all of it on one play. Brendan Costa to Jackson Hayes. An over-the-shoulder grab down the near sideline to make it 21-0. Malik Hall has had to wait a while for his first victory. Still a long way to go, but this is as good a start as he's had leading the Bobcats as head coach.
I mean, they've looked good on all aspects of the game this afternoon, this evening. I mean, on offense, Costa's getting the ball in there. Receivers making the plays. You got Bridge running up the middle, gaining 5.5, 6 yards a carry. Costa's had some huge carries. And then on defense, they've just make sure to really shut down Richard Madoy, who's the second leading rusher in the NESCAC, and the guy can catch the ball. So just tremendous all around. Obviously, we can't get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot of football left, but they look good so far.
An awful lot of football left here as Redfern's kickoff is going to come from the 25 instead of the 40 because of that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So Bowdoin may finally have some decent field position here if they're able to get a good run back. Redfern's kickoff is toward Israelski, and he takes it rolling on the ground, tries to turn upfield. At the 20, cuts back and gets stood up. Bates with good coverage again.
Another flag.
And now another flag after the play.
Well, this has been a theme all year for at least Bates, but it seems like for Bowdoin too. I don't know who they're going to call this one on, but
I think it's going to be on Bates.
yeah, and you got a team on the ropes. You got a chance to put them away here, and now you just gave them an opportunity. I mean, they were already kicking deep, and it looked like the Bowdoin was going to get their best field position of the day, but that was a good kickoff for Bates. You couldn't have covered that any better. You got a good bounce. You're going to keep them on the 20, and then you just bailed them out with a 15-yard penalty right there.
So Bowdoin with its best starting field position of the night now at its own 37-yard line in a 21-0 hole with 8:59 to go in the second quarter. Jeff Mannix and John Suchak calling the game for you here on NSN. Glad you could join us tonight. John Chassie, our cameraman and producer. Richie Modoy gets the handoff from Mcrum and turns it upfield. He's close to first down yardage.
It looks like he got about 9 there.
Depending on the spot here, they say second down, but that's about a half yard short. Ball just short of the 47-yard line. Pistol formation again for Austin Mcrum. Hands to Richie Modoy, and got away from the first set of tacklers and gets over midfield for the first down.
Yeah, nice job by Richard Modoy. He hit the contact, but then he was able to bounce off and get himself an extra 2-3 yards there. He's going to have the first down anyways, but nice second effort.
So Bowdoin trying to get something going here in the right direction. Their offense has sputtered. Defense has had some trouble covering passing plays at times. Mcrum trying to change that here. 1st and 10. First time on the Bates side of the field for the Polar Bears tonight. Richie Modoy turns it upfield for a 5-yard gain.
Good read by Mcrum and able to get 6 yards on that play for Richard Modoy.
2nd and 5 coming here. Bobcats have done a good job defensively, holding Richie Modoy in check for the most part so far. starting to get some runs together, though. 1st and 10, Richumodoy gets the handoff, but he is brought down in the backfield. Muhammad Koulibaly takes him down.
Great job by Koulibaly. He was able to get back there and stick with him, wrap him up, and pull him down.
So that sets up 3rd and long, as that was a loss of 3 yards on the play.
And a big play, too, because the last few plays, Richard Modoy was starting to make some inroads, gaining 5-6 yards a carry. That was able to cool him down a little bit.
Actually a 4-yard loss from the spot there. So 3rd down and 9 for Bowdoin. They're on the Bates half of midfield for the first time tonight. Mcrum rolling right, looking downfield, throws incomplete into double coverage as the intended receiver looks like it was Bo Millett, the tight end, number 88.
Yeah, Jack Ryan doing a good job getting back there and flushing Mcrum out of the pocket. Again, going back to Koulibaly, him being able to tackle Richard Modoy in the backfield really set up that passing down, and Bowdoin's had no success passing today.
And I will correct myself, it was Nick Smith, the intended receiver on that play. So 4th down and another punt for Michael Chen, another short one. Big bounce. Lindgren gets out of the way, though, and lets Bowdoin down it at the 22. So the Bates Bobcats with a 21-point lead, 6:28 to go, 2nd quarter. As Bates looking to add to the lead here.
Good job by the defense there. After that unsportsmanlike or late hit, Bowdoin really was starting to feel themselves, and I thought they were going to start to get something going, but they were able to buckle down and force the punt.
Ball spotted at the 21. Costa hands it off to Tyler Bridge. He's got running room. Tyler Bridge is through and beyond midfield.
You know, it's just a simple play, and he just runs through that defense like a hot knife through butter. It is impressive, and they have missed him, and he's showing them why today.
That's a 31-yard run for Tyler Bridge. 1st and 10 now on the Bowdoin 48. Bates in hurry up again. Costa again to Bridge. Again gets through and keeps pushing to the 42-yard line for a gain of 6.
It took 3 guys to get him down on that play, and they all just kind of fell and let him fall into him. Bridge is certainly feeling it right now, and that's a good thing to see if you're wearing the garnet and white.
2nd and 4. Costa again hands to Tyler Bridge. He again is through the middle. This time he's got 1st down yardage.
They might just keep feeding him. That referee was the only one that slowed him down on that one. The umpire got in the way.
Ball spotted on the 34-yard line, so a gain of 8 for Bridge, who is a big body at 6'3", 209 pounds, and he's only a first year. Costa on 1st and 10. Again hands off to Bridge. That time stacked at the line, and finally Gowetzky along with Harrison Craig able to push him and prevent a big gain that time.
Well, at some point they were going to key on him, but I mean, for Bates, couldn't even be any better. They're just going to keep feeding him and let him go up the middle and lull him to sleep, and then that'll give Costa an opportunity to drop back, find one of his receivers, or get flushed out and run for a big gain again.
A 1-yard gain that time for Bridge, who again is the lone player in the backfield with Costa and shotgun. 3 wide receivers to Costa's right. He throws that way, and it's caught on the dive, that time by Sean Bryant, who once again factors into the game plan.
Yeah, he's been finding himself. This is it could be, dare I say, a breakout game for him today. I believe that's his 3rd catch of the day, or at least his 2nd, but he's been making some good ones. Both of them have been tough catches.
They spot the ball on the 6-yard line.
What a catch.
First and goal for Bates with 4 minutes left before halftime. Costa hands to Bridge, cuts up the middle and doesn't get much. But it does look like he at least gets 1 yard there as they'll spot the ball in the 5. Second and goal for the Bobcats here. Pistol formation. Bridge the running back. Costa hands to Bridge. He hesitates, tries to keep pushing. Looks like they've brought him down for a 1 yard loss that time, though, as Gowetzky again is in on the stop.
Yeah, Gowetzky's not gonna. He's got too much pride to let him just walk in there. I know he's been a big reason why they've gotten down that far, but Bowdoin's obviously not gonna let Bates just walk in.
Now third down and goal for Bates on the 6. Garrett Evans is checked in, along with Liam Spillane and Christian Sanfilippo. They're all in the backfield with Matt Golden. Now Bowdoin decides to call a timeout here as Bates threw the curveball with putting Golden in the quarterback position there on third and goal. So timeout called to reset things for the Polar Bears.
Oh yeah, this is obviously big for the Polar Bears. I mean, look, it's a 21-point game, but that's not insurmountable. But another one before the half here, and that's a tough one to overcome, especially when you're an offense that struggled. They haven't been able to do anything passing the ball, so Bates has been able to really key in on them running. Like I said, there's only 2 guys there in the stat sheet right now for Bowdoin, and so this is a huge play defensively for him.
2 minutes, 37 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 2 touchdown throws by Brendan Costa, both of them to Jackson Hayes. Tyler Bridge with the other touchdown run for the Bates Bobcats in this one, as this game has started as well as the Bobcats could have hoped. Definitely fitting for the first night football game ever at Garcelon Field. Hard to believe since this place opened in 1898. Yes, I said that right.
Yep, and they had electricity back then too. I don't know if they had floodlights like this.
Probably not. Third and goal here. Golden is the quarterback for this play. He takes the snap, hands it off to, that is Bridge, and that is going nowhere as the Polar Bears stack that play up to set up fourth and goal.
I mentioned earlier they haven't kicked a field goal all year, and it looks like they're going to attempt. Well, are they?
I'm looking for number 86.
I
don't see him.
So it looks like they will not attempt their first field goal for the year. Oh, there he is. He is out there.
Okay. So they are going to try a field goal from 25 yards away here for Simon Redfern, sophomore from Providence, Rhode Island. Golden will hold for him. Snap back, hold down, kick is on the way. It is good. First field goal of the season for Simon Redfern. And Bates adds 3 points to the lead. It's 24-0.
Yeah, you want to come away with something there, and that makes that a 4-score game. So I actually take that back. 3-score, 8 times 3 is 24. But huge for Bates, especially as the quarter's coming in. They could probably force a 3 and out, maybe have one more opportunity before the end of the half too. But congrats to Simon Redfern, his first field goal of the season. The sophomore, as you mentioned, from the Wheeler School in Providence, Rhode Island. It's a great program down there, great school. Glad to see him getting his first field goal for the year.
That's an 11-play drive for Bates, as it covered 71 yards before the field goal. So a slow, methodical drive, and Bates is up by 24 points. on the Bowdoin Polar Bears. Redfern ready to kick off. Israelski and Williams back to receive. Israelski takes it at the 1. Running left, tried to spin out of a tackle, couldn't do it, as he is dropped at, it looks like, the 17.
Great coverage right there by the Bobcats. Looked like that was the first year. Brian Carmichael from Wayland, Mass. making the play. They've been great on the coverage. I mean, all 3 phases so far today has been tremendous for Bates.
So the Bobcat defense comes back out there. And Austin Mcrum tries to change the complexion of the game before halftime. Mcrum hands to Richam O'Doy, who was in motion, and he gets only to the 20.
Looks like Lindgren getting him down there.
He's been in a lot of plays tonight.
Well, last game as a senior on his home field. He wants to make it memorable, right?
Clock continues to tick. Minute 15 left before halftime.
Bowdoin doesn't look like they're in any hurry to give Bates the ball back, that's for sure.
And Bowdoin will receive the second half kickoff. And that throw incomplete. It got there a little too quick as Richam O'Doy was turning around to look for the ball, and it was right there.
Yeah, a little quick, and it was on his back shoulder. I don't know if he was ready for it, where it was coming to, but that will stop the clock now. That'll be a key third down here now.
3rd down and 7 upcoming here for Bowdoin at its own 20-yard line.
Bates has some timeouts left too, so if they do run the ball, they will be able to stop the clock and get the ball back.
So Mcrum with 3 receivers to his right, 2 to the left. Steps up, heaves downfield, has Richam O'Doy, who hauls it in at the Bates 43-yard line. That's the first big offensive play of the night for Bowdoin.
It is, and Bates is fortunate. That ball was a little underthrown, so Richam O'Doy had to stop and catch it, and momentum just took him backwards, so he was able to fall right down.
Gain of 37 on that play, and this one is complete, but it came out. Was he down first? They continue to jostle for the football. Bates ended up with it, but I think they're going to rule the play down. Well, now the officials might discuss it here. One of the Bowdoin coaches ran out onto the field.
We have a timeout. It's a Bowdoin timeout, I'm assuming. But that's the first person to make a play offensively. I think that's Nick Smythe for Bowdoin. That's someone, first person other than Mcrum or O'Doy to get in the stat book.
And Bowdoin did indeed call the timeout. So it's 35 seconds left here before halftime, as Bowdoin now at least is within striking distance with 35 seconds to go. Still likely got to move it at least 20 yards to get into field goal range for Chen here. But if I'm BJ Hammer and Bowdoin, I'm probably looking for at least 6 points rather than 3.
Oh, 100%. Chen's long on the ears, 40 yards, so they probably need another 8, but another 18, I should say. But yeah, they need 6. 6, and then you get the ball back. That can completely flip this game on its head for them.
Mcrum drops back, steps up, throws, and looked like the ball might have gotten batted on its way out of the hands. It was a duck that is well underthrown.
Yeah, I think Ramon Ruiz got in there. I thought he was getting hauled a little bit, but he got in there, and it looked like his hand might have deflected the ball. Ruiz, a junior from Haskell, New Jersey, powerhouse Don Bosco. Good to see him getting in the backfield.
Ruiz has been really one of the heart and soul players of the Bates defense all year. 3rd and 7 for Bowdoin on the Bates 40. And we've got whistles before the snap.
Flag, it looks like, on the far sideline. And
okay, so sideline warning on Bates, which draws boos from the home faithful. 3rd and 7 here. Mcrum hurried. He's hit as he throws, but is complete. Making the catch is Michael Klopsy, and that's a first down.
Yeah, he took a big hit there. It looked like that was number 55, Tony Hooks, who's been a tremendous defensive player as a first year for Bates. It's the first time we've called his name today, but fortunate. I mean, that ball was just kind of floating there, and it went right to a receiver in stride.
Mcrum clocks it on first down to stop the clock with 20 seconds to go before halftime. Ball now on the 26 of Bates. 2nd and 10. Richam O'Doy behind Mcrum in the pistol formation. Mcrum rolling right, has pursuit from the back, throwing for the end zone. It is incomplete. The defensive play there made by John Lindgren.
That was tremendous. I mean, I believe, who was that out there for Bowdoin? I can't see the number, but Lindgren was able to get around him, no interference. Great job deflecting the ball, knocking it out of his hand. 89, it looks like.
Yep, which is Smith.
Yeah, he was kind of just camped under, and Lindgren just came around him. That was a tremendous job to not interfere, to not just disrupt the pass. I mean, that's textbook defense you don't see a lot of these days.
3rd and 10 with 12 seconds to go before halftime.
Huge play.
Mcrum takes the snap. Gets pressure from both sides. Throws incomplete, but a flag is down. As Max Friedman went down on the way to the football. As that ball looked well overthrown, but the flags come out.
Yeah, I agree. And they're talking about it. I wonder if they're going to have a discussion whether it was or not.
Yeah, that may be a situation where they decide to pick it up. Flag did come out fairly quickly. Friedman definitely did go down. Closest player to it, though, was Connor Hunt, the defensive back for Bates, but they do indeed call it a pass interference. So that'll move it half the distance to the goal, which will put it at about the 13-yard line.
They did. There was 2 flags, so obviously 2 of the guys saw it, so not surprised they didn't pick it up. An interesting scenario. He's had 7 seconds. I guess Bowdoin's going to try and run a quick play, and then I wonder if they'll try and get something on the board to get 3, and then another opportunity after the half.
7 seconds left before halftime. Polar Bears looking to punch one in before the break, down by 24. Mcrum throws. It is juggled and caught, but out of the back of the end zone by Friedman.
Looks like Koulibaly there. Again, great coverage. He was able to stay in front of the ball, keep him from catching it cleanly, and the momentum just took him out. So it looks like we'll have a field goal. Bowdoin's going to try and get something on the board before the end of the half.
So Chen is on to attempt the field goal. His holder is Soren Birkeland. Chen to attempt the field goal from 29 yards to end the half. Snap back, hold down, kick on the way, and it is good. So that puts the Bowdoin Polar Bears on the board at the half, and they'll receive the opening kickoff in the second half. But it is a 3-touchdown lead for the Bates Bobcats.
Yeah, you can't, I mean, obviously you don't want to give them anything at the end there, but for Bates, I mean, this is something they've been waiting to see all year. All 3 phases have been important. They have taken some bad penalties, and there was a penalty there on the end that unfortunately went against them, and it probably cost them 3 points. But, man, this is as good as we've seen them all year. Offensively, defensively, special teams, it's just been really impressive. So the key is here to keep this going and make the necessary adjustments to make sure Bowdoin can't take advantage of getting the ball first out of the half.
So it is halftime now at Garcelon Field. Jeff Mannix and John Suchak with you. We'll step aside for a little bit. We'll check in on both the Bates and Bowdoin Athletics scoreboards today. Well, it's the end of the regular season in volleyball today and the start of the playoffs in soccer and field hockey in NESCAC. We'll let you know how everybody did when we come back. Your halftime score at Garcelon Field. The Bates College Bobcats 24, the Bowdoin College Polar Bears 3.
Well, after a dominant first half, saw the Bobcats take a 24-3 lead over Bowdoin into the halftime locker room. First of all, before we get to some of the first half highlights and some breakdowns, Coach, what was the message of the team at halftime after that quick start?
I mean, you know, that was what we wanted. I remember coming in the locker room and everyone's like, it's not over. Like it was a sense of like, coach, like keep the gas on. No matter what, just keep the gas on. And even though we had some penalties that were more related to effort and celebration, it was a thought process, guys. I'm gonna keep the gas on, keep your emotions in check, and let's keep pounding this rock. Let's keep putting it in the end zone. The defensive senior package, we rolled that out there every first down, every starter drive, and the supporting cast, they closed out third down and second downs. And so that was big. Let the juice stay dripping and let the sauce stay sticky.
So the first drive of the game, 5 plays, 82 yards, but 54 of those yards for the touchdown pass from Brendan Costa to Jackson Hayes. Spencer, let's pull up the video here. We'll break this down. Brendan, I want you to give your take on what you saw on this particular play.
Okay, so I believe it was a 2-person route. So on this route, I either take it or I'm probably just going to start running. So we're going to send the guy in motion to the left. I'm going to give my best action. I got to get a lot better at that, apparently. I got to give action to that, and I'm basically just watching to see if Jackson breaks free. He had one-on-one. He beat his guy, and I trust my guys to make plays when they need to make plays, and he made an incredible catch. And he makes the run after the catch, which is something that we had so much emphasis on going into the season, making big plays, and that's just a big play early in the game to set the tone.
Is he your first look in that play call in particular? Is he the first guy you're looking at?
Yeah, definitely, especially if he has one-on-one coverage and there's nobody at the top of the screen. So they have no cover up top. So he's one-on-one with an island with that cornerback. So I'm gonna trust my guy to make the play. And if he's not open, then I have another guy crossing over the middle. I think you see Muhammad crossing right now. He's my second option. But other than that, it's just me running the ball after that. But luckily, I didn't have to do that. Jackson made a hell of a play and scoring the first touchdown of the game, leading us to the victory.
It's funny watching that reverse angle. Muhammad knew right away that was going to be a touchdown. Got that ball.
Yeah. He probably started dancing too.
So it was a great pitch and catch there again, 50-plus yards for the score. So that was the first score of the game, opening drive. And then the defense, I mean, Ramon, how hyped up were you guys after that score? And what were you guys talking about in the defensive huddle?
Well, from the beginning of the game, I kept telling everybody on the team, 4 quarters, that's all it takes, and then we're going to have some smiles on our faces afterwards. So when it got to this point, I kept saying, keep pushing, don't take your foot off the gas, keep them under, don't let them come up for water. That's just me being my intense self. But, at this play, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember it was a pass play, a pass protect, and I did my very best to get to the quarterback, but Bowdoin's quarterback, Mcrum, got rid of it early, and I turned around to go, see where the play was at, where the ball was at. And, sure enough, Bowdoin caught it. He's getting up from the ground. And it was just a hell of a play right there.
It really was. Patrick, you're a former linebacker moving to fullback. And then Doyon moved from offense to defense, but we'll like to see him make that play. I mean, as a former linebacker yourself, break that down for us a little bit.
This is the type of play that Doyon always makes. I mean, you've seen him do this in games, but I can't even count how many times we've seen him do that in practice. You see him drop the hips, open at an angle, but really what makes him a special player is that as he's running with that guy, when he makes the decision to jump in front of that instead of just trying to swat at the ball or being happy hitting the guy to try and stop it, it takes special instincts to have that type of aggressiveness. Just trust yourself and go for the ball, and to trust your teammates to make the play if you miss it.
Shane, what'd you see on this play yourself?
I think Haas hit the nail on the head. We had seen Doyon make the play in practice all week, and if I remember correctly, sometimes the coaches would get on, really expand back and be able to get back there and sit in the middle. And I think he did it to a T. He expanded with him, flipped his hips. I'm not too too sound on the linebacker position, but to me, it's a pitcher perfect play.
Ramon, I love the turnaround. You went over to talk to the quarterback there a little bit. Looks like.
No. Coach Hall can attest to this. I did my job. After an interception, they want us to find the quarterback to block.
Yes, sir.
What I did. But I might have said one thing though.
Oh, so you were going over to block, not talk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Mhm.
Well, how about this next play? I believe this is Jackson Hayes' second touchdown, right? And Brendan, we want to break this down for us, what you saw here?
Yeah, so this is a pretty simple concept. It's a pretty popular air raid concept that we run. So we have this. So Jackson's going to be one-on-one again, and they have no safeties at the top. He's going to run kind of a. So if he's pressed up, he's going to change his route from a double move to a single move. So he's just going to try to beat the guy right off the line. And again, he does a great job. He just beats him with speed. Jackson's so fast. Once he gets a little bit of separation, he does a good job controlling the ball on the way down. That's another thing we focused on a lot in practice, especially at the end of the year, controlling the ball, making sure that we secure the catch. Offensive line gives excellent time on this play, especially because it needs a little bit more time to develop to allow the guys to get downfield. But again, that's just Jackson making a huge play for us and put another touchdown on the board, just adding it to our lead.
Malik, this is a heck of a throw by Brendan. What are your thoughts? I mean, he dropped it right in there, didn't he?
Yeah, that's drop it in the basket, the bread basket, baby. And gotta have nice little soft hands to catch the bread. And here you go, touchdown.
Another long touchdown. So at this point, I mean, Connor, from a defensive perspective, when you have a big lead like this, what's kind of the mentality on defense?
Yeah, for a big lead, it's just keep the pressure going. I mean, sometimes teams can maybe get defenses can get kind of complacent, when their offense is just going and points are high, but the defense was always just locked in. Everyone was locked in. There was never an instance where anyone kind of the focus was like no one was losing focus. We wanted just 3 and outs. 1, 2, 3, get off the field, let the offense keep chugging.
I believe this next play is going to be a run by Tyler Bridge, if I'm not mistaken. Patrick, as a fullback back there, what can you say about what Bridge was doing as a running back?
I mean, the thing about Bridge is he was so good. If he got into space, he was gone, So all we had to do up front is you'll see we just do enough to get him the opportunity to get past that first line, and he's out of there. We knew going into this game that the way Bowdoin played, they were small up front, they were fast, and they were aggressive, and they blitzed a lot. But we knew that because what they sacrificed in that, they sacrificed size. We knew we were going to be able to run plays like this and just go up the middle and get yards.
I gotta give a special shout out to Hoss here, and Hoss is Hoss. But if Hoss doesn't make this block, this was a critical block to the play coming out, and so. In the instance, 42 is the only guy that can theoretically stop the play from happening. And I thought Hoss did a great job. And again, you alluded to it, Aaron, earlier. That's what makes our Bobcats special. All of our guys were willing to do some things that they haven't done before, or that was just different. And whether it been Matt Golden, whether it been Hoss, or the many other guys that play different positions, I don't want to minimize the block because it was a big run because it was a big block.
And that's not something that shows up in the box score, obviously, the block, but it's right there on the film. So those are some of the halftime highlights, obviously. A big halftime lead for the Bobcats. So, Shane, going into the second half here, what are some of your thoughts after you had that big lead at the break? What are you thinking about as a defensive lineman coming into the second half?
I think Coach Hall hit the nail on the head as well, sort of not being satisfied. We had been in this position a lot going into halftime with a lead or it being close. And, we had lost it so many times that we knew we didn't want to even have it come down to the wire and be close at all. Like you said, just keep the foot on the gas and just keep chugging. In our minds, the score was 0-0 starting out the second half.
Absolutely. Well, it was 24-3 for all the fans watching on at the game, and we'll be back after the second half. So enjoy the second half. We'll be back with a post-game wrap-up. Enjoy some more Bobcat Bowdoin football under the lights.
Simon Redfern kicks off to begin the second half as it's received there by Matthew Williams, and he doesn't get too far there beyond the 25-yard line, but a decent return there, and I beg your pardon, that was Brendan Ward on that return.
Well, obviously, I don't know what Coach Hammer's message was, but they have an opportunity here to march down, get some points on the board, and really make this a game and put some pressure on Bates. Bates knows better than anyone. They were down 23-0 at the half last week. They were able to march back, seemingly take the lead, although that call got taken back. They want to make sure the same thing does not happen to them here tonight in the second half.
Mcrum again leading the Bowdoin offense. He fakes the handoff to Richam O'Doy, throws to the near side, and completes it to Nick Smith, who gets knocked down quickly by Connor Hunt.
Nice play action. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Bowdoin do a lot more of that. They were handing off so much to Richam O'Doy that obviously Bates is going to key on that. There might be some opportunities to find some open receivers if they can exploit that.
8-yard play on that one, on the catch by Nick Smith. 2nd and 2. From the 33. Mcrum takes the snap, hands it to Richam O'Doy around the left side, and he is down at the 40-yard line, but that's a gain of 7 and a Bowdoin first down.
Richam O'Doy, 13 carries, 38 yards in the first half. Obviously not at the quantity that he's used to, but I'm sure they're just going to keep feeding him. There's a reason he's one of the better receivers, but better running backs in the league.
1st and 10 for Bowdoin at its own 40. Man in motion. Mcrum rolls to his right. He throws and just throws it away there as he had nobody open, and the pursuit was coming.
Yeah, Jack Ryan hot on pursuit there. Almost shoved into Mcrum, but he was able to throw it away before any damage could get done there.
So 2nd down and 10 coming here for Bowdoin. I'll let you know all the other NESCAC football scores today, too, after the next play, as everything is already in the books. This is the only night game tonight. 2nd and 10 for the Polar Bears. Handoff to Richam O'Doy. He's stacked up at the line by 3 Bobcats. The first one to him was Ryan.
Great job by Bates. One of the things in the first half, as well as Bates' defense played, they had no tackles for losses or sacks, whereas Bowdoin was able to disrupt some things in the backfield for Bates. But again, if you can hold them to 1 yard, no yard gains, that's just as good as anything. So 3rd and long here. Big play for Bowdoin.
NESCAC football finals today. Tufts wins 35-10 at Colby. Trinity wins 21-7 at Amherst. Wesleyan needs overtime but wins at home over Williams 27-21. And Middlebury still unbeaten at 14-7, defeating Hamilton. The ball comes out for Austin Mcrum, but he dives back on top of it. It's a 4-yard loss, and Bowdoin will have to punt.
Jack Ryan getting back there again, disrupting. It's like he heard me saying that they had no tackles for losses or sacks. Getting back there, forcing a fumble. Huge play for the Bobcats.
So Michael Chen in punt formation. And John Lindgren back to receive again for the Bobcats. And that one looks like it's off the side of the foot, coming toward the near side grind. Lindgren decides to field it on the way out of bounds and gains a couple yards.
Yeah, if he could have stayed in, he probably could have done a little more damage because Bowdoin kind of had given up on that. It looked like they thought it was going to go out of bounds. So, but again, Bates getting back there, forcing a quick punt. Again, they've been able to get back there pretty good. They haven't made any contact or blocked anything, but it has to be in Bowdoin's mind as they're trying to punt the ball.
No doubt. Punt blocks have definitely been a feature of the special teams for the Bobcats here. That's in part what set up the possible winning score at Colby last week, was a punt block. Costa hands it to Bridge, who is able to get away from the first tackler, and he ends up gaining about 5 yards there. Tyler Bridge, a good little run to his right, as he might have lost a few there.
Yeah, and that was Gowetzky getting back there, and he's no joke. He can really disrupt some things, so kudos to Bridge for putting a little bit of move and getting away from him and being able to get 4 yards,
It is a 4-yard gain, setting up 2nd and 6 on the Bates 46. Costa hands it to Bridge again, skips to the outside, and then cuts middle, gets into Bowdoin territory at the 44, and picks up a first down. 10-yard run. Make that an 11-yard run for Bridge, as he continues to pile up the yardage. 1st and 10. Now in Bowdoin territory at the 43. 2 wide receivers right, as Costa hands to Bridge, comes to the left, and there's no running room for him that time. He's tackled in the backfield for a loss. Rose and Gowetzky on the stop.
Yeah, they sniffed that out real quick, and we're all over. Oh God, just lost my train of thought. All over him to get the loss there. So
Tyler Bridge,
the ball
yeah, carrier again. Looked like they just flipped a play they ran a couple plays ago to the left instead of the right, but Bowdoin able to sniff it out. 2nd and 12 on the Bowdoin 45. Golden motions to the backfield. Costa, play action here, has some time, throwing over the middle. Diawara, it's through his hands and incomplete.
He's going to want that one back. Diawara knows he kneels down in the end zone, pounds his fist in the turf. That was him. That had him in stride. Might have lost it in the lights. I mean, this is one of the downsides to playing at night. They haven't played with lights on all night. I don't want to make excuses for him, but great play development that just didn't execute.
So now 3rd down and 12 for the Bobcats, wearing the away jersey set at home here tonight. White under the lights, as Coach Malik Hall calls it. And if it's going to bring them luck like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked for the Dallas Cowboys all those years too, right? So
works for LSU too.
Yeah, exactly.
Costa finds the safety valve in Bridge. He gets to the 40, into the 35. He's short of the 1st down, but Bates makes something out of nothing there. Looks like they marked the ball at the 36, so a 9-yard pickup on 3rd and 12 to set up 4th and 3.
Coach Hall has to be loving what he's seeing from Bridge tonight, off both running the ball, catching the ball. I mean, this is a first-year student athlete that, you can have 3 more years of him. I mean, that's what these guys are excited about when they talk about the process, when they're talking about trying to really get something going. And yeah, it's been a tough year, but there's been so many bright spots with him, with Tony Hooks on defense. It's been really great to see.
Bates going for it on 4th and 3. Costa drops back, looking downfield. He has a man. It is incomplete. In and out of the hands there of Chris Costa, as Brendan trying to find his brother, but couldn't quite come up with the play.
He had one-on-one coverage, and he was right there, but wasn't able to come up with it. So good bid for the Bobcats there, and Bowdoin will take over with decent field position, but I don't mind the call there from Coach Hall. I mean, Bowdoin hasn't proven they can do anything offensively, so why not try and put some pressure on them, get some points.
So Bowdoin starts with it at its own 36-yard line after the incompletion on 4th down. Mcrum in pistol with Richum O'Doy behind him. Richum O'Doy takes the handoff and runs up the middle and gains, looks like 5 or 6 to set up 2nd down. That's a 5-yard run. 2nd and a short 5 coming here. 2nd and a short 6, I should say. Nope, short 5. I was right. Nearing 9 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Mcrum waiting for the snap. Has it. Hands to Richum O'Doy again, and can't bounce outside. Good job to bring him down there by Tony Hooks.
Yeah, it was a big stop. Richum O'Doy looked like he might have been able to get to the outside and gain a few more just to get the 1st down, but Hooks stuffing him and setting up a big 3rd down for the Polar Bears.
Ball's on the 44 of Bowdoin. 3rd down and 2 for the Polar Bears.
Flag, it looks like, on the far end.
You indeed have a flag on the far
Are
side.
they calling the sideline again? Is that what that means?
Quite possibly here. It is indeed sideline violation against the Bobcats.
Coach Hall trying to. Sorry, go ahead.
They've been warned once already.
Yeah. Coach Hall trying to make his case down there too. I don't know. Obviously, they're on the far end. We can't really see what may have been happening. But
so now a first down because of the penalty.
You don't want to see that. This game's still within reach. You don't want to give them too many chances here.
Richam O'Doy takes the handoff. Nope, Mcrum kept it himself. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. The Bates defense sniffing it out very well.
Yeah, they weren't fooled on that one, so good bounce back and tackle for a loss there, so they'll be second and about 11 there, it looks like.
It is a loss of 1 on the keeper by Mcrum. So it is 2nd and 11. Mcrum waiting for the snap. Again, play action. He throws. It's complete. And staying on his feet and keeping going is Nick Lynch there. Or Nick Smith, rather, I should say. Good job there to just keep pushing, and that gets the Bowdoin sideline going.
Yeah, Devin Claiborne put a nice hit on him, but he didn't wrap him up, and he was able to keep his feet and get some extra momentum, setting up a 3rd and short, so another big 3rd down coming up here.
Ball into Bates territory at the 42. They need 1 yard for a first down. Mcrum hands it to Richam O'Doy up the middle. He's got the necessary yard and a little bit more. That moves the chains.
And that sideline penalty, looming large there. It didn't look like there's a lot of activity going on down there. Obviously, we're not there. We're up here, but.
So halfway through the 3rd quarter now. Score has not changed since halftime. Bowdoin trying to score here on its 2nd possession of the half. Mcrum hands to Richam O'Doy. He's got some running room this time. Cuts back and keeps going. Finally brought down at the 25.
That was one of his better runs of the day. They've been shutting him down, but he was able to find a hole, juke a little bit in there, and get the first down.
Liam Green on the tackle for Bates. And they spot the ball on the 24, so that's a 14-yard run for Richam O'Doy. That's his longest of the day. Mcrum again with 2 wide receivers to his left. Hands to Richam O'Doy, and Hooks was right there.
Nice job by Hooks right there. Right there. Didn't get fooled. Didn't go for the fake. Wrapped him up and spun him down.
5-yard loss. So Richam O'Doy gains 14 and then gives 5 back thanks to Tony Hooks. 2nd and 15 upcoming for the Polar Bears. Mcrum calls signals. Takes the snap and pistol. Play action, throws, completes it to Smith, who dances out of bounds near the 20-yard line. So close to the red zone here are the Polar Bears, and that's a first down. Check that 3rd down.
3rd down, yeah. Will be 3rd and about 5 or 6, it looks like. Another big play. I don't know if we're in 4-down territory quite yet at this point of the game, but, actually this quarter's moving pretty quick, so it could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
5:45 and counting to go in the 3rd. So it's 3rd down and 6 for the Polar Bears. Play action again. Mcrum throws. It is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Max Friedman.
He had Friedman cutting across. He threw it a little behind him. Friedman had to try him. He got his hands on it, but it was coming out of there pretty hot and on his back shoulder. So it looks like they're going to go for it.
5:32 to go in the 3rd. Clock stopped on the incompletion. 4th and 6. Bowdoin down 21 points. We'll go for it. Empty backfield. Mcrum in shotgun. He has 5 wideouts. Mcrum flushed out,
yep.
Rolling left. Flag is down. The throw is incomplete. And no flags on the pass, but a likely offensive holding.
And they'll decline it. That he was pulling his jersey out of desperation there. They might have gotten away with something in the end zone. There looked like there could have been some contact, but nevertheless, Bobcats taking over.
Bates takes it at its own 20 on the turnover on downs. So Bowdoin moves the ball down the field fairly effectively on that drive, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, I mean, they have to feel pretty good about that. The only thing they can't feel good about is we're getting later and later in this game, and there's no time for these kind of moral victories.
That's Costa in shotgun again. Brendan Costa hands to Tyler Bridge, runs right, throws off one tackler, then gets tripped up at about the 26-yard line or so, it looks like. A gain of 6 on the play for the first year from Wells, Maine.
He's getting close to 100 yards rushing on the day, and he only had 94 in the season coming in, so really great to see him really having a coming-out party here tonight.
2nd and 4 now for Bates. Costa hands it to Bridge again. Tyler Bridge bounces outside to the left, coming to the sideline, and he's down at the 41. Finally chasing him down is Alex Tyson.
Great run by Bridge. Cut back. Great fundamental, switching the ball on the outside hand, so if he gets knocked out, it'll go out of bounds. But, I'm looking at him. He's bigger than everyone in the field. Like, how much bigger was he than everyone in high school last year? I mean, Class D, they're not known for their size,
no.
I mean.
No. Definitely not. Here is a 1st and 10. The ball's out, and Bridge is back on it himself while falling down. I tell you what, the Bates Bobcats have something with Tyler Bridge, it would appear. That was not an easy play to make after he dropped it.
No, showing his athleticism there, and he was getting tackled as he picked that ball up off the turf. So, and I mean, again, huge. If Bowdoin gets that ball and the way they're moving the ball, that gives them new life.
It loses 7 yards, but Bates will take it because they keep the football. 2nd and 17, pass complete to Matt Golden. He runs to the near sideline, gets close to the 50. It'll be just short of the first down, but a pickup of 14.
Well, and Bridge, what he's done here today, I mean, that he kind of created that. He started going to the outside. Costa looked at him. The entire defense started to go that way until Costa turned around and got it to Golden. And Golden had a lot of green and able to get up the field to midfield.
So here's 3rd down and 3 yards to go here. Ball is at midfield. Costa again in shotgun, 2 wide receivers to both sides, 1 in the backfield, that's Bridge. Costa steps up, runs it himself, lots of room to the 35, cuts outside, over the 30, and slides down at the 25.
Another great job by Costa. I mean, that defense came flying back there. It collapsed quick, and he was able to find a little hole to get through and really run up the field for about a, 25, 23-yard gain there.
23. They'll spot it at the 27.
The way he ran across the field, he probably ran about 50 yards the way he kind of zigzagged around there. So
he is definitely elusive. And he makes game planning against the Bates offense hard. Pistol formation now. It's Sanfilippo behind Costa. He gets the handoff. Christian Sanfilippo up the middle. Looks like a loss of a yard. No, they'll get him. A loss of 1 yard there to the 28.
Clack getting back there and make that play. He's found himself in the backfield quite a bit. Been one of the few bright spots on the defense there today. Him and Gowecki, sorry.
2nd down and 11 upcoming for the Bates Bobcats. So we're nearing the final 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Costa takes the snap from O'Brien, the handoff to Sanfilippo, spun off the first tackle, and chugs forward for only 1 yard, and it's 3rd and 10.
Bridge going to check back in here for Sanfilippo.
Bobcats in no hurry here, up by 21 points. Sniffing possibly their first victory since they beat Bowdoin almost 2 years ago to the day, Week 8 in 2017. That clinched a CBB title for the Bobcats, their 4th in a row. Bridge with the handoff, spun off the first tackle, got to about the 23, but that will still be a good 5 or 6 yards short.
Yeah, no surprise that, they're not gonna kick the field goal. They're gonna try and get the first down here and keep the drive going.
Ball placed on the 23-yard line, so a 4-yard run for Bridge. Last minute of the third quarter now. Play clock at 15.
And they're just going to bleed. I wouldn't be surprised if this rest of the game just bleed it short in the game, make it tough on Bowdoin.
Costa calling the signals. 3 on the play clock. Costa, there's a clean blitz from his right, but Costa tucks it, and he's got the first down and bullied a defensive back on the way.
What a play. I mean, first off, you had number 12, Matthew Mcrum, just the junior, just chasing him out there. And Costa just getting around the outside and just lowering his shoulder. Was that 32 or 22 that he just lowered his shoulder into? And that guy took the brunt of it.
It's 32, Jacob Mouse.
Yeah, I mean, apparently we got a penalty somewhere, though.
So it's still 4th down here.
And negates quite an effort by Brandon Costa there, though.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But, this penalties have been the theme of the season here. I know that's something Coach Hall's going to want to work on in the offseason. We're heading in, obviously, there's one more game next week. But, I mean, that's kind of been bad penalty on sportsmanlikes and on, after the whistle fouls. It's really killed them all year.
And now a timeout is called with 31 seconds left in the third quarter here. Remains 24-3 for the Bowdoin Polar Bears. Should mention all of the 8 class of 2020 players for these Bates Bobcats. Peter Daly, a biochemistry major, as he is from Wilmington, Massachusetts, a linebacker. Zach Doyon from Elliott, Maine, biology major. He plays on both sides of the ball from time to time. Matt Flanagan, a history major, the left tackle. Matt Golden, running back, sometimes quarterback. He's a sociology major from New Bedford, Massachusetts. John Lindgren, 2-sport athlete, also on the baseball team from Plainville, Connecticut. Defensive back, punt returner. Jack O'Brien, the center, a politics and religious studies major. Phil Simplicio, an economics major, an offensive lineman. And Connor Sarasi, a biology major.
Congrats to those guys. 4 years of any sport, let alone football, is not easy. A lot of sacrifice goes into that, so very happy for them.
No doubt. 4th down and 11 here. The throw down, the sideline complete, and it's a touchdown! The catch made by Sean Bryant.
I mean, that was such an athletic catch. He had 2 guys on him. He caught it in between them, pulled it down, turned around, and tiptoed his way into the end zone. I mean, Sean Bryant really coming out tonight, 6'2", sophomore, using his height. I mean, he's doubled his catches on the year pretty much. So, I mean, just an impressive job on that catch. Huge on a 4th down, too. And kudos to Costa getting to him right on the button there.
Yeah, perfect throw. Redfern for the extra point. Golden holding. Kick is on the way. Blocked that time, though, and Bowdoin might return it all the way here. Running with the football, that's Soren Birkland with a lot of speed. He'll return it all the way for 2 points.
You don't see that every day.
You certainly do not. So an odd turn of events there that kind of breaks things up a little bit, but it's still a 25-point Bates lead.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of takes a little bit of the excitement away from the touchdown and gives Bowdoin a little momentum. It's still a 4-score game, though, so, I mean, still a lot of work to be done. But yeah, I mean, kudos to Bowdoin and sniffing that out and getting that ball and taking it back. There was no hesitation. I mean, we saw the pocket collapse there, and all of a sudden you see someone run the other way, and you just don't see it that often.
No, certainly do not. So the score is Bates 30 and Bowdoin 5 with 25 seconds left in the third quarter. That drive covered 80 yards in 10 plays. Redfern to kick off again. Back to receive are Aiden Israelski and Brendan Ward. Bobcats up by 4 scores now. Redfern's kickoff, a line drive that bounces past both receivers, and it will get into the end zone just barely as Bates was barreling in hoping to recover that.
Yeah, that was, it worked out, but that's one of those, the way it was curling, if it would have come back out, Bates would have an opportunity to cover that right there and possibly score. It's a dangerous.
Now,
but it worked out for him. So.
Yeah, it did. We saw a play like that earlier on this season go against the Bobcats when they tried to let it go. The ball stayed out of the end zone. That was against Trinity in the last home game back in week 5 of the season. We're in week 8 now.
Not a lot went right that week from what I remember. I tried to black it out of my mind. But.
I'm pretty sure the Bobcats probably did too. But a lot of teams block out games against the Trinity Bantam.
You have to, yeah.
1st and 10 from the 25 after the touchback. Mcrum pump fakes, now throws over the middle, has a man, and it's caught by Brendan Ward. And he's brought down near the 35. That is a good pickup of close to 40.
Yeah, and they used Richard O'Doy the same way Bridge was being used on the last drive by Bates. He faked to him, everyone bit, and then you have the receiver running right down the middle. Ward was able to catch it in stride and get a nice gain.
They spotted at the Bates 37. That's a gain of 38 yards on that pass, catch, and run. Richard O'Doy running outside to the left. Gets brought down at the 31-yard line, and that will end play in the third quarter. Your score through 3 at Garcelon Field. The Bates College Bobcats 30. The Bowdoin College Polar Bears 5. The fourth quarter is next. You're watching Bates football on NSN. Jeff Mannix, John Suchiak, with our cameraman and producer John Chassie here tonight for Northeast Sports Network. Final 15 minutes of this one. Bates College Bobcats up 30-5 on the Bowdoin Polar Bears. Bowdoin with it, 2nd down and 4 at the Bates 30, and the catch made again by Ward. He's inside the 20 and close to the 10.
Yeah, Ward's starting to find a little more involvement in the offense here, and those are 2 big catches to get him down.
19-yard play. 12 balls now at the 12. Bowdoin trying to get in the end zone for the first time tonight. They're a team that will not give up. They were down 49-0 last week, or 47-0 against Middlebury. They scored the last 24 points of the game all in the fourth quarter. They push forward here, can't get in the end zone, does Richard O'Doy, but he gets to the 5, so a gain of 7 yards.
They're just going to keep pounding him up the middle there. He's their guy. They're going to stay with him. I think for them, this is huge. You can get an early score here in the fourth quarter.
14 minutes to go. Mcrum on 2nd and 3. Fakes the handoff to Richard O'Doy and throws for the back of the end zone, but just a little over the head of Michael Klopsy.
Looks like it was broken up by Clyburn back there. He was flushed out. He had a little bit of time, but he put a lot of juice in there and just he didn't see anything and threw it away.
3rd down and 3 for the Polar Bears here at the Bobcat 5. So Bowdoin can get a first down without a touchdown here. They've got to get to the 2. Mcrum with Richard O'Doy behind him in pistol. The handoff is to Richard O'Doy, who runs outside. He's stacked up. I'm not sure he got to the first down marker.
Tough to tell from our angle, but that was a great job by the Bates defense. I mean, they just ganged up on him and twisted him down backwards so that he wasn't falling frontwards for sure.
Yeah, he's short by a yard. Ball's on the 3. This is pretty much the ball game for Bowdoin. If they don't get a first down here, it's going to be real hard to come back. Mcrum takes the snap, the hand to Richard O'Doy, and I think he might, I don't know, we'll see. It'll depend on the spot here. It's close.
Bates thinks they have the ball.
They might have to measure this. As everybody getting up. Yeah, they're going to have to bring the chains on here, it looks like. So this, to decide whether the drive continues here for Bowdoin. They needed 1 yard on 4th down. It's close. Here comes the chain gang onto the field. It is short. Turnover on downs, and the Bates defense celebrates a big hold.
Yeah, I mean, it's big. I mean, anything can happen, but, if they were able to score there this early in the quarter, that was really going to start to put some pressure on the Bates offense. This way, they can relax. There's no pressure. You can run the clock. Still a 4-score game.
1st and 10 for Bates at its own 3. In the shadow of its own end zone here. They have to be careful. Costa in shotgun, hands to Bridge, who powers forward and gets a little bit of daylight for his quarterback for the next play here, as they'll mark him, looks like, at the 5-yard line. Second down and 8. Upcoming here for Bates.
Bridget, 111 yards today so far, 5.5 on a carry. So great day for him.
Bridge again. And gets out of pressure. He's got some room now. Bridge over the 40 to the 50 before he's finally dragged down by Soren Berkland.
I mean, that was just a basic dive play. I mean, just hearing the inflection in your voice, Jeff, I think you thought he was down, so did I, and he just popped out of there and kept going.
Play is never over with Tyler Bridge, is it?
Nope. Just exciting, just electric. I mean, you don't want to say what if, and I know I said it earlier, just like if they could have had him for some of these games earlier in the year when he was out, I mean, it completely changes the complexion of their offense, and he showed that tonight.
That went for 47 yards. Longest run of the night for Bridge. And we talked so much about Richard O'Doy coming into this one. Tyler Bridge has stolen the show.
He absolutely is. And quite frankly, how many? 47? That was the longest run of the year for Bates offense.
That didn't get much as the handoff went to Sanfilippo.
Yeah, you might be talking about passing of a torch here. Richard O'Doy has been one of the most consistent running backs all year, but you got Tyler Bridge, as you just said, first year as O'Doy's getting ready to graduate. You get to see a glimpse of the future here.
Yeah, the leading rusher, too, in the conference is a first year now from Middlebury, whose name is escaping me right now.
We called his name. Mine too, but we called his name a lot earlier in the year.
Here's Costa. Getting away from pressure, heaves this one downfield. It is incomplete. Intended there for Chris Costa. He had it in his hands, but Berkland makes the play to prevent him from making the catch.
That's twice he's almost been able to connect with his brother there. He throws a nice ball, so it's nice to see him get some time and throw it down there. This is as good as we've seen this offense look all year, and it's been great to see.
Yeah, and we'll get an opportunity to see those two possibly throw to each other again next year, as Brendan Costa will be a senior, while his brother Chris will be a sophomore next year. 2nd down and 9 from the 47. 3rd down and 9 make that. And that pass is completed, but won't be for enough. It's only a 2-yard gain on the play, and we've got players slow to get up after that one.
Yeah, that was a pretty vicious hit. That looks like Golden that's down for the Bobcats. I mean, he's a big boy, but he had a couple guys wrapped up on him and took a big hit there.
Yeah, I believe it was John Page, number 51, was the player who got him, and he was slow to get up too. He's still walking gingerly from that one, so that must have been a heavy, heavy collision in there. As the Bobcats trying to finish this one off here. I mean, I'm sure people maybe could have foreseen a Bates victory, but Bates possibly on cruise control with 10 minutes to go, I don't think is anything anyone envisioned for today.
No, I mean, I think you can look at the stats coming in this game, and I envisioned a good game. I envisioned both teams exploiting each other's defenses, but I think what's impressed me the most has been Bates just really shutting down the Bowdoin offense and allowing them to go kind of in a cruise control, which, again, like you said, I don't think anyone saw coming into this.
Yeah, this has certainly been a breakout game for the Bates Bobcats, and only one game left on the season for them, and it is the long road trip to Hamilton College to take on the Continentals. That'll be a 12 o'clock start a week from today, so the Hamilton page will have you covered for that here at nsnsports.net. While the Bowdoin Polar Bears, you'll get to see them at home one more time. They'll conclude the season, as they traditionally do, against the Colby Mules. That will also be a nighttime game, a 4:30 kickoff from Whittier Field next week, as Colby will try to lock down the CBB title, and Bowdoin, at least from the way things are looking right now, will try to split it.
Yeah, I mean, that's best case scenario, a 3-way tie for them, the way it's looking, so. And the Bates Bobcats will become huge Bowdoin Polar Bears fans next week. Try and bring that CBB title back. Or share it. I don't know how they decide.
Yeah.
I know they can all say they're champions, right? So.
Right, exactly. So punt formation now. Just the second punt of the day for Quinn Kieselowski, who got a good one off here. Israelski stays away from it. Is bounding toward the end zone, and it's kept out. And down at no, it is called a touchback.
Oh.
They do call it a touchback, as I guess the player touched the goal line as he shoveled the ball back out.
Yeah, great effort by Koulibaly there. I thought he had it. I think you did too. It just looked like took enough bounces and hung up enough that he could knock it out, but by the way, kudos to the game ops here tonight. Got some great tunes playing in between some of the classics. Maybe they just sound a little better when the Bobcats are winning. I don't know.
I was going to say, this is the first time Bates has scored when you've been on a broadcast this season, isn't it?
I didn't want to mention it when they scored the first touch when they marched right down there, but
all right, we know it's not you. And there's a catch, a good one there from Nate Richum-O'Doy going to the outside as Austin Mcrum uncorks one here for 29 yards.
I may have alluded to someone down in the stands that I wouldn't be fired because they finally scored with me on the broadcast. That was on the table, though, not by you and others, so I get it.
Here is Mcrum dropping back, throws, and almost intercepted by Doyon. That would have been his second of the night.
Yeah. Great job. He threw it in the traffic. I mean, now he's just trying to get something going, but great coverage by the Bobcats.
Well, as Malik Hall said, Bowdoin will play until the clock hits 000. They will not give up, so he wanted to make sure his team will do the same. So far, so good.
And if you're Bowdoin, if you're Coach Hammer, I think he's got to feel good about that he's built that culture that they're not going to give up, and you can build on that. You can build on with guys with great character, great heart that can keep doing that, even though it's been a frustrating year for him.
Mcrum hands it to Richum-O'Doy, who is, Mcrum kept it himself. He keeps pushing, to the 44-yard line. So that's a gain of 5 yards there, and now a flag after the play.
Well, 54 for Bowdoin. Brendan O'Neill not happy, screaming some unpleasantries you could hear from up here. I don't know if it's going to be on him or if he was the one that got hit late or something.
Now we'll see here. There's 2 flags down.
Yeah. Oh, ejected him.
Oh, boy. So it's an ejection here with the personal foul. And it's O'Neill. It's Brendan O'Neill, the left tackle for Bowdoin.
He was hot coming out. I mean, you could hear him from up here. Usually you can't hear him. He's kind of got the crowd in a frenzy here. You don't see that often.
They have been a lot today. And they are again. 3rd down and 18 now. Mcrum looking to his right. Throws a deep ball. Way overthrown, but a flag comes in as Koulibaly held up Klopsy.
I mean, that was a nice throw, and there was no one around, but you look down, Koulibaly, it was tangled up, and they're going to get him. Sand in the cookie jar there.
In the college game, though, that's just a 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
So it goes back to the Bates 44-yard line, where it was before the personal foul the play before.
Yep. But they'll get a fresh set of downs on this one now, too, so.
9:42 left. Bowdoin needs a touchdown here to keep their hopes alive tonight. 1st down and 10 on the Bates 44. Mcrum with 3 wide receivers to his right. He looks that way. He heaves it. Has a man, but he overthrows Nick Smith. Incomplete.
He had, I mean, Nick was, I don't know whether he just, it looked like Nick Smith just misjudged it because he was wide open there, and by the time he reacted and jumped, the ball was already past him. But and cool and under pressure there for the quarterback. He was getting pressured.
2nd down and 10 for the Polar Bears. This is the, at least so far here tonight, first time in a month that Mcrum has gotten all the snaps at quarterback in a game. Mcrum takes the snap here, throws complete to Klopsy, who's knocked down by Lindgren. It's a 1st down.
You know, they moved the ball a little bit this half, and they just haven't been able to come up with any points, and I guess that's a kudos to the Bates D, a little bend but don't break action there.
Bowdoin will go to hurry up. 1st and 10 on the 29. All passing here now from Mcrum. That is complete to Smith, who gets it near the 10. But we've got a flag at the line of scrimmage. So we'll find out what the laundry is momentarily. Indication looks like Bates from here. Incorrect. It's on the offense.
Well, that'll negate a nice play that the Polar Bears just had. Mcrum closing in on 200 yards passing for the day. Still no touchdown passes, though.
So they'll march it off 10 yards. Net loss of 9 as apparently the hold was 1 yard ahead of the line of scrimmage. So the ball's on the 38, 1st and 19. And now the officials are saying, yeah, that was our fault. We misspotted the ball. So to the 39. 1st and 20. Oh, that snap isn't good, and Mcrum knocked down. He did recover the football, though, as Mike Bowman was in on him quickly.
Yeah, Bowman shot back. I mean, the ball was already low and on the ground, and Bowman didn't give Mcrum any opportunity to pick the ball up and make a play. They're even further back now.
That lost 9 yards. So it is 2nd down and 29 here for the Polar Bears. Bates fans having a good time here tonight at Garcelon Field. Mcrum steps up, throws, incomplete. Intended target was Nick Smith. On the coverage was Devin Clyburn.
Yeah, Smith took a weird tumble there, but it was low and way too far out of reach. So obviously a passing down coming here.
No doubt there.
Imagine Bates might be in a modified prevent here to keep him from getting the first down.
8:10 to go in the 4th quarter. Thanks for joining us tonight on Northeast Sports Network. A beautiful night in Lewiston, Maine. Mcrum on 3rd and 29 completes it to Klopsy, and he is knocked down at the 35. So that gained 13 of the necessary 29.
3rd catch of the night there for Klopsy. Took a big hit on the end of the play there, too.
Yeah, there were 3 white jerseys there quickly.
You might be right, though. You might be seeing a lot of white jerseys for home games in the 2020 season.
Now Bowdoin uses a timeout here. Their first of 3 in the half with 7:42 to go. And still some time left in this football game and one more game to play here for these Bates Bobcats. But we've said it time and time again, and Coach Hall has said it to me when I've talked to him to get ready for all of these games. He's felt like they're getting there.
Yeah.
They're learning how to win. The results just weren't there. Well, the results are there now.
Absolutely. And look, football is a tough sport. I think people watch enough, the D1, the major Division I levels where they have scholarships and they can fix a lot of problems, get some transfers in. It's just not realistic at any Division III school. And I think for Coach Hall, he's trying to build a new culture. He's trying to build a new way of doing things, and it's going to take time. And a lot of these younger guys are starting to build. The older guys from a different coaching regime, not saying it was anything better or worse, but it's a different style of play, and they have to learn how to make it work. And so to see it all come together, we still have 7.5 minutes, but I'm really glad for Coach Hall. Like you said, he's seen the progress. They just haven't seen the results, and the guys can see the results. And if you can get a big win against your rival like this, that proves that what they're doing is working, and it can only get better.
4th down and 16 for Bowdoin. Bates brings the house. The throw is incomplete as Mcrum got crushed. And he's still down. So that's a turnover on downs, but now the attention turns to Austin Mcrum, who is up and okay. He is a tough player.
He is, and it wasn't a dirty hit, but he had 2 guys collapsing on him. One of them got shoved into him, and as he was throwing the ball, he just took a bad spill. So, that's where your conditioning, your off-season weight room work comes in, and strengthen yourself so you can take those kind of hits and bounce up like that. But that looked worse than it ended up being, thank goodness.
7 minutes, 37 seconds to go.
He is not happy down there either. So.
Certainly not.
I mean, it's been frustrating. They've moved the ball. They've done some good things. They just haven't been able to put it all together and get any points on the board.
That's the story for Bates a lot of times this season. And it's been the story for Bowdoin a lot in 2019 here as well. And that could have been disastrous, but Bridge, of course, makes something out of it. He gets to the 48-yard line, a pickup of 13 after colliding with one of his own blockers in the backfield, but he gets a first down.
I don't know if sometimes when that happens, that's almost better off for him because then he bounces off, can see the field a little bit, and lets the play develop a little more. I feel like how many times has he done that tonight? He runs into one of his guys or someone stuffs him and he can get out of it. It's just been an unbelievable night. He's up to 160 yards rushing.
Brendan Costa Takes the snap, hands it to Tyler Bridge, cuts right and gets over the 50 to the Bowdoin 47-yard line for a gain of 5 more. Second down and 5 to come.
Now at 173 yards rushing, 7.3 average. It's an unbelievable night for him.
Boy, they keep feeding him. He could hit 200 tonight. Bates takes its time here. 10 on the play clock. Pistol formation for Costa with Bridge behind him. Bridge gets through and is taken down at the 41-yard line. That's first down yardage for the Bobcats.
You know, the ironic thing about Bridge being a Wells alum, Tim Ryan, athletic director at Bowdoin, also a Wells football alum. So I don't know how much he pays attention to his alma mater, and I'm sure he's not happy about it tonight, but a little ironic twist there.
Yeah, 2015 to 18. I'm sure he was a giant Tyler Bridge
fan.
Absolutely, right? Not so much tonight.
No.
Much better when he's on your side.
Uh-huh.
Bates Bobcats fans are certainly going to say that after tonight. Less than 6 minutes to go now. First and 10 on the Bowdoin 41. Again, it is Bridge. He powers forward for 3 more. Second down and 7. Gowetzky with another tackle. Bates in no hurry here. And I'm not surprised after the hit Mcrum just took. Bowdoin warming up the backup quarterback, Matthew Marcantano.
CM boy, Catholic Memorial outside of Boston, a great football program. They're a great athletic program, period.
Second and 7. Costa hands to Bridge, runs right and is stopped there by Gowetzky at the line of scrimmage. No gain to set up 3rd and 7.
You wonder at this point, he's about 13 yards away from 200. You wonder if they're just trying to get it for him now. I don't know whether they pay attention to that down there, but obviously they're trying to run the clock out, but he's been in there quite a bit.
My mistake, actually, that we did pick up 2 on that play.
He's at 189 now.
Yeah, he's closing in. Needs 11 more.
Not in the game right now.
3rd and 5. Costa drops back. He throws over the middle, completes it, and cutting upfield there once again is Sean Bryant with another catch and another big catch.
I mean, another one of the young guys. We've talked about him already earlier tonight. It's again, great to see him getting involved in the offense a lot more tonight.
Ball spotted on the 16. So that was a 20-yard catch and run from Costa to Bryant. Less than 4 minutes to go. The Bates Bobcats are that close to their first victory in 2 seasons.
4th catch of the night for Bryant, 92 yards.
Costa takes the snap, hands that one off, and unable to bounce outside there. Looked like the ball carrier is number 27, Garrett Evans. And now Tyler Bridge checks back in.
Only Evans' 3rd carry of the season.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 on the Bowdoin 16.
Bates fans starting to feel themselves here for the first time this year.
Costa takes the snap, hands it to Tyler Bridge, who's stacked up at the line. And that one, and actually my mistake, the ball's on the 11, not the 16. So it's 3rd down and 10. So that was a 25-yard catch and run there for Bryant a few plays ago. So no gain on that play. Bridge still at 189 yards for the night. And Bridge back on the sideline for this play. Costa takes the snap, hands it off, and the run by Evans is a little past the 10 to the 9-yard line. Gain of 2 to set up 4th and 8. Final 2 minutes of this one. We probably need to be on cooler watch for Coach Hall, don't we?
Ooh, that's a tough night for cooler watch, but I'm sure he won't mind. It's easy for me to say with the winter coat up in the press box, though.
I think he'd be all right with it if it means his first victory as Bates Bobcats head coach. Costa throwing end zone, batted down, incomplete by Soren Birkland. So turnover on downs here, but only 1:29 left.
Yeah, for these seniors, this is their last home game here. Obviously the last 2 years, their 4 years has been a struggle, but for them to, come out here, this is a blowout against one of their arch rivals, and an opportunity to do that is something they'll never forget. And hopefully they can look back in a few years when this program is on the upswing and competing further and further up the standings, and they can look at this night and feel real good about what they've done to help set the standard.
So the Bowdoin Polar Bears take over the ball with 1:29 left at their own 9-yard line. And even though Mark Cantano was warming up, that is Austin Mcrum back running the offense again. And the snap's low. Did he get on it? Still loose. And the ball's down. It was run into the end zone, but it is a Bates football.
Yeah, it was another bad snap, and he wasn't. It looked like it, from this angle, it's tough to tell. It looked like it hit his foot, and he just wasn't able to get it. And that's kind of just some salt in the wound right there for Bowdoin. We'll see what Coach Hall does, if he empties the bench or who he puts in to try and get some touches here.
Ball recovered on the 4-yard line. So it will be 1st and goal for the Bobcats. And I think it's safe to say they are going to get the victory tonight. As you start to see
the cooler.
Yep. Indeed, we are on cooler watch.
Be cold.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting cold just looking at it.
As Costa hands the ball off. And the carry by Evans.
Oh, they were setting him up
gets
over
to
there.
the 2. 1:10 left. Bates sideline active. They are excited as we go below a minute left.
They're trying to move the assistant coach out of the way. It's good looking out right there.
Absolutely.
Looked like Ruiz making sure someone else wasn't getting some friendly fire.
5 on the play clock here. Costa will kneel on it. And there's the shower.
He didn't even flinch.
Nope.
That's the most impressive thing I've seen all night. He didn't even flinch. Look at him.
Look how excited the Bobcats are for Coach Hall.
And congratulations. His first win as a head coach at the collegiate level. Just, it's been a tough 2 years. And as you said, they've been coming close. They've been getting better. And, congratulations to Coach Hall and these guys. Look how excited. That's awesome.
Well, for Coach Malik Hall, it took 17 tries, but he finally has his first victory as the Bates Bobcats coach. First victory for Bates football in 2 years, and you see the exuberance.
Look at that. That's great. Great to have your classmates out there, your school supporting you. First ever win for Coach Hall. First win in 2 years for the Bobcats.
And it was convincing. 30-5, the final score. And Tyler Bridge seems like he became a superstar tonight.
Yeah, he's been slowed by injury. He had done well. We had called him earlier in the year. I think it was the Middlebury game. He was showing some potential. But tonight he just came out almost getting 200 yards rushing, just unbelievable. unbelievable performance.
As the Bobcats continue the celebration here. So this means they still have a shot to split the CBB title, and they will indeed become giant Bowdoin Polar Bears fans next week in order to get that split. The only way that happens is if Bowdoin beats Colby.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, for Bowdoin, I mean, they're going to have a lot to play for. They're at home. It'll be their senior day. That's also a rivalry game. And, look, it's been a tough year for them, too, but they've showed promise. And, look, they were moving the second half. I thought they were doing really well offensively. They just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And, again, kudos to Bates. I mean, this is as complete of a game as I've ever seen them play. And, I mean, this is so exciting just to see this here.
Certainly is. Tyler Bridge, 189 yards, couple touchdown passes from Brendan Costa to Jackson Hayes in the first half. Threw a beautiful one to Sean Bryant here in the second half. Bridge also with a touchdown run. And, hey, well, you need to give credit to the Bates defense here, too. I mean, Bowdoin moved the football a little bit, but you held them only to 3 points.
Yeah, 3 points. I mean, that other two was a fluke, but, I mean, yeah, it wasn't like they were getting a lot of play in the background. I mean, they had their top rusher, the second best rusher in the NESCAC. You had a quarterback that's a big body, has a big arm. Being able to just keep him under control is unbelievable. There's Coach Hall just soaked giving interviews. Congratulations to Jason Fine. I know this is a big win for him. I know athletic directors don't like that kind of maybe I have a soft spot for athletic directors because I used to be one, but I know this was a big hire for him when he brought in Coach Hall, and so to get a win under your belt is a huge relief. So happy for him and his staff and everyone down there on the field jumping around.
And, of course, with this being the final home game of the season for the Bates Bobcats, we need to give an awful lot of thank yous to the Athletic Media Relations Department here at Bates with Andy Walter and Aaron Morse, always doing such a wonderful job. Jason Fine, the athletic director, he's great to both of us here. Coach Malik Hall, who I've gotten to talk to every week leading into these games, he's so good with his time, with Alfonso Belnevis on his staff helping set all of that up. Of course, for our producers as the season has gone on, John Chassie right here tonight. Thanks, of course, to Eric Berry and Jordan Royer back at our NSN headquarters in Vermont for everything they do behind the scenes. John Suchiak, thank you to you for joining us this season. Well, this was fun.
Jeff, thanks for welcoming me. I mean, obviously, I'm much more of a rookie, and you're very much professional, but I appreciate you tolerating me for the few games we had. But it was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and 30 points tonight that made up for the other two games where I didn't get to see any points.
Certainly did. So for John Chassie and for John Suchiak, my name is Jeff Mannix, reminding you for one final time tonight in the first ever football night game at Garcelon Field. Your final score, the Bates College Bobcats 30, the Bowdoin College Polar Bears 5. Bates is now 1-7 on the season. Bowdoin is 0-8. Good luck to the Bobcats next week at Hamilton to close out the season. Good luck to the Polar Bears, too, against Colby next week. And that will do it. Thanks so much for watching the 2019 Bates College football season here on Northeast Sports Network.
Final score 30-5. The Bobcats over Bowdoin under the lights at Garcelon Field. Brendan, the fans storming the field at the end. I mean, how special was that?
That was really special to share that with our classmates, especially when they rushed the field, just because Bowdoin had done that to us last year. So a little bit of salt in the wound. So we kind of got our comeuppance, as I might say, when our fans stormed the field. So it was really special to share that with our school, with our friends, and just with our team and our teammates. It was really a long time coming. So when we finally got over that hump, it was really special to us.
Ramon, I think you guys gave Malik an ice bucket there at the end. And apparently he was not fazed by it. What was that moment like?
The last couple of minutes, I saw Doyon, running around trying to find somebody, and I asked him what he was doing, and he found, I believe it was Flanny he found, and I saw them grabbing onto the cooler really quick, when there was a minute or so left, and I realized, this is gonna happen. I'm pretty sure Coach Hall got stepped on by a cleat in the front. I can't remember correctly, but I feel as if that happened. But man,
that happened. That happened.
Oh yeah, it did.
It was my foot with the ice, both combined. I didn't know how to respond.
Yeah, and it was freezing too because it was a November game. But oh man, it was great getting Coach Hall. You know, that big win. It was also spectacular to see, you know, the Bates community rush onto the field, seeing all your friends and classmates and families as well. I saw Coach Hall's family, and my mom and my Aunt Donna were there. You know, it was nice seeing everybody. You know, the whole community came together. It was a lot of fun. It was a great night. Definitely one that I'll remember forever. So.
Excellent, Coach. Just to follow up on that, I mean, your first win as a head coach here at Bates. I mean, what were the emotions going through your head when the clock finally hit zero there?
Man, when the clock hit zero, it's funny because at the time I think we had just had a big play that got us in the red zone, and I think it was probably about 50 seconds or so left in the game, and I was trying to get a timeout because the game was over. I didn't want to just put up another touchdown for the sake of, partly because we've been in that scenario a few times. And so my mind was just making sure that we won the right way. It's hard to win, but it's also hard to finish because right then we could have punched it in and run the score up and still got that same effect. But it just wouldn't have been gentlemanlike. But after that, I got to tell you, man, it feels good to win no matter who you beat, where you are, but to be able to beat our rival night game and reciprocate what was given to us a year ago, as they said. What is more special about that game as we look at our position today is the guys that we have on this panel were major contributors to that win. And though we didn't know it then, that was their senior game, that was their senior experience just the same. And so the fact that the Cats Carnival was a toast to their last home performance, I couldn't have asked for a better way to go off. To see our field get stormed where we won't even be able to be on that field this year against Bowdoin under the lights, I'll take it.
Yeah, and it also built some momentum for the following week, by the way. Folks, if you haven't checked out what happened the following week, definitely do that, GoBatesBobcats.com, because it was the biggest comeback in 50 years the next week for the victory. But, Brendan, tell me about, you know, how that game kind of carried over into the following week.
I keep forgetting to unmute my mic. So it was our first win. So, I mean, we were just really, really confident heading into the last week. We hit a few bumps in the road early in that game, but I feel like our mindset was purely shifted. It was fully shifted. So I feel like we didn't really flinch. And I really feel like the momentum from Bowdoin really carried into Hamilton and then into the off season also.
Patrick, how'd you see it over the ensuing week, how that game carried over kind of?
Yeah, so I think when we played Hamilton, we saw the type of adversity that we had seen a lot in the past year, and that we hadn't really been able to get over yet, and we had never really been able to finish. No matter, some games we look good, some games we look bad, we hadn't dealt with it well. But having won and gotten over that and knowing what it felt like to win, I think that really did make a real difference in knowing how to deal with it when things went south in Hamilton, and obviously it had some pretty good results.
Yeah, sure. Connor, if you had to rank the Bowdoin game this past year among all the games you've played at Bates, where would it be? Right at the top or right next to Hamilton, perhaps?
It was definitely high up for sure. It's definitely one of the premier games in my memory. Just, I mean, the fans, the community behind us, your friends, faculty, and everything was clicking. I mean, offense, defense, special teams. It was a really surreal moment, especially at the very end when I was just watching that. You could see the fans start coming down from their seats, getting ready, and it was awesome. So it's definitely one of the best memories that I have for Bates football.
Yeah, Shane, I mean, can you take us through all night, the atmosphere there, and people who weren't there? If you could describe it, well, how would you describe it all night?
Like I said, I think it was like the closest thing we had to, like a prime time Saturday night college football. Under the lights always brings out a different atmosphere that I think, like I said, players are able to, sort of thrive in that pressure and that atmosphere that we don't get to experience. So we know it's sort of like a do or die kind of situation.
Great. Well, again, it was a big-time performance by Bates, 30-5 over Bowdoin. I hope everyone enjoyed the broadcast and the special commentary we had here, pregame, halftime, and now postgame. Coach Hall, give me your final thoughts on this one in terms of major takeaways for you.
Yeah, I think for the Bobcat family and these young leaders on the line right now, I think what we saw in our last two games, we saw flashes of in all of the other games. But putting it together, it required us to go through some ups and downs. And to finish it like that, go 2-0, hey, I couldn't have been more proud of these guys. And knowing what we know today, I'm even more excited for how I know these guys will overcome adversity, because they'll look back at this and say, you know what? Hey, it's just halftime. Don't worry about it. Keep punching for the Hamilton game. Or, hey, I'm not losing this account, not in the last minute till holding call. And so there were a lot of lessons learned in this season and a lot of great experiences with great guys. So, and more to come. Hey, this year we're undefeated. You know what I mean? Or 2-0 as far as I'm concerned. So as long as we keep going, hey, we can keep going and keep doing some great things. So I want to say thanks to all the Bobcat family. Thanks to these young men, Connor, Patrick, Shane, Costa, Razor Ramon. I thank you guys. I really appreciate you.
Awesome. Well, that's head coach Malik Hall. I want to thank, of course, Ramon Ruiz, Brendan Costa, Shane Collins, Connor Hunt, Patrick Whalen, and, of course, our highlight operator. He didn't want to talk, but he was operating those highlights at halftime. Spencer Carey, you're the man. Thank you so much. Bobcats winners 30-5. Hope everyone enjoyed the Bobcast. Hope everyone enjoyed the broadcast. Have a good night.